We'll definitely keep our eye on tonight. Who's going to be the +1 in defence? Is it Jed Adcock or Brent Staker on the back of his winning goal last week? He'll find himself at either end of the ground in the absence of Merritt and Clark. Will Carlton be smarter with the ball going forward? Will they get it in nice and deep? Essendon too shallow with their entries last week. Brisbane on the counter-attack, control with their ball movement, going inside 50 and scoring 67% of the time, more than any other team last week. As we said, Indigenous round.
That's right. No shit. Yeah,
We've got Ashley McGrath and Garlett. It's a great respect for the Indigenous players that have played our game. And one player I'm really looking forward to tonight is Jared Waite. In his third game back into the side, in his past 2 games, he's had 8 marks, averaged 8 marks. He's a pivotal player. Will he contribute tonight? I know our own Jason Dunstall is really looking forward to his presence in the game tonight.
Yeah, I certainly am, Diggo. He's so critical to the makeup of this Carlton side. And we know how angry the powers that be were at the Blues when he got himself suspended. Sure, he copped a $5,000 fine, and I think he bore the brunt of a few harsh looks from Mick Mulhouse. But you've just got to understand that they are a much better side when he plays. It's not just for what he does, it's for the impact that he has, it's for the pressure that he takes off other players in their attacking 50. If he can stand up and provide that big leading focal point, take a couple of strong contested marks, they'll be off and running.
And the positioning where the Carlton players play tonight's going to be interesting. It looks like Gibbs is going to start in the forward 50. We know there's Simon Black. We know he got subbed off in the end last week. But we've seen Murphy play forward. Mick is really moving the troops around in the last few. He's trying to work out where they should go, and he's keeping the opposition guessing as well.
I think, Shorey, the key is you've got to have versatility.
No doubt.
You've got to be able to play different roles, and you can't be predictable of the opposition just eat you up.
I think midfielders now, if you think you're just going to play in midfield all game, even with the rotations, if you can go forward, I like Judd coming out of the square. I like Murphy kicked 3 goals last week, showing he could play in that position. So you need to have that flexibility and that strength of changing these players' roles.
Well, Jamison goes to Brown, no surprise there.
Judd starting in defence, which is interesting, coming off the back of the square.
Well, I don't think he'll stay there. Simon Black's right next to him, but he'll go straight through that corridor, Chris Judd.
And there's Simon White, just to provide a little escort for Chris Judd. And we're ready to go. The opening bounce. Warnock up against Leuenberger. That's going to be some clash as well. Support with Cruiser, of course. Round 9 underway from the Gabba. Good vigorous jump too. And it was straight down to Garlett from the Warnock tap. Now Robinson's pacing after it. And here's Curnow driving to half forward. Speaking of Jared Waite, he's straight into the seam. Takes the mark in front of Patfull.
Yeah, big job for Joel Patfull. It was interesting also, we saw the 2 Indigenous boys tossing the coin in Jeff Garlett and Ash McGrath. They're actually playing on each other as well.
They got up the ground last week, 12 disposals, 6 inside 50s, Jared Waite last week. Has 3 goals, 4 for the year. We know you never can be quite sure. And that one's just slightly astray.
Well, I think the Brisbane Lions, there's Merritt, of course.
I
think they might have to look at Staker being a player to go back. He's courageous, can fill the spot and try and get some run. Maybe Hanley has to go back to his old position.
And there's Cruiser getting into the right spot.
Shocking kicking.
Good run from behind provided by Walker. We know he loves that dash. More Lions there, though. The Blues, although Waite from the side entrance was spectacular, even though he couldn't take the mark. And the Lions able to control things. Doherty on the way out.
Oh, look at this. He can go all the way if he gets the bounce.
And Buick had time to collect. Puffs out the cheeks, charges through the 50, and then trying to make sure of the kick. And the crowd are up on their feet already.
Wow.
What a start, what a goal.
Well, I don't think anyone saw that coming. They had the first 4 or 5 possessions, Carlton. Jared Waite had a shot for goal, nearly took another mark in the goal square, and then the quick rebound. But it was young Sam Doherty that saw where the danger was. He saw Buick breaking. He got out the back. That full press that comes up, it can get exposed when you get quick movement of the footy. It wasn't a particularly good kick, but it was out in front of Buick. And then a bounce and a finish. What a start for the Lions.
Played every game this year. Rowan Buick finally, I think, feels at home at the level. Played 37 games in all, 23 years of age. Brisbane getting out of the middle the first time. Again, Carlton through McLean. This time, Keisha pursuing it. Maloney going hard at him. And Staker there as well.
Just watching Rains, nearly there he is. Rains goes straight to Murphy. That will be the matchup. You'll probably see Murphy try and make it a 2-on-1. So go to someone else and release one of the other Carlton midfielders.
Good thing about Rains as a matchup, though, is if Murphy pushes forward, he can go and play that role. No problems.
Black tried to push off there. Curnow got involved. Here's McLean.
This might be the man who got out of the mix there.
Waits down in the goal square. It's set up for him to jump up over the top.
Gee, that's poor from Brisbane. And you've got to say that's probably Joel Patfull's fault, but he had a teammate covering the lead in Jed Adcock, so he just had to make sure that he jumped up with Jared Waite and spoilt the ball. But he was just too late. His timing was poor.
Tough miss early on. This one plumb in front, and Carlton's answer is swift.
Well, it's a massive issue already, isn't it? 2 marks inside 50. Now, let's have a look at our commentator camera here. You can see Waite there. They've got 2-on-1. Now, they have to split there. They've got to split. Someone play behind the line. Adcock's going there early. How does he get here? Oh, no. Patfull just released him to get deep, and Adcock had to make contact, not to push in the ground, but at least make or force him up the ground a little bit more. That is horrible defensive play.
2 should always beat 1.
Oh.
So a major defensive malfunction from the Lions there.
Just poor communication.
Oh, horrible.
200th goal for Jared Waite.
I'd still go Staker there. I think Staker suits Jared Waite to a point, as in height and strength, and Patfull's going to be played deep. I think I'd make a change already on that.
Beautiful bounce in the middle. Leuenberger angled it down. Keisha really liked his work in the last couple of weeks. He's full of energy, lays lots of tackles. Robinson bangs it up. There's the 2-on-1 again. This time it was onto Lucas. And there's the shove from Gibbs, and it was reasonably effective. Scotland copped a bit on the way through from Mays. Hacking kick into Bell from Gibbs. And Bell is going to line them up.
Just got caught a half a step behind Jack Redden. When that quick kick comes in, you've got to have front spot. Seen a little bit of him in recent weeks, Tom Bell. Gee, there's a lot to like about the way he plays. Big, mobile, strong, good tank.
9 contested possessions last week, Jace. Laid 7 tackles, 4 clearances, so he's that big presence, isn't he?
Had to live with a lot of pressure, with people saying the next Coot. I mean, that's a hell of a player to live up to, isn't it?
Here he comes. Again, a relatively elementary shot. Relatively. And his kicking had been accurate up until that point of time. 7-1 in his career. Bell's 3rd game of the season. We're back with McGrath at fullback.
Pierce Hanley started at half forward, which is very interesting story.
He has done that last couple of games, matter of fact. Again, I'd like to see his run across halfback, but he's got Kate Simpson on him too.
Well, Lester bangs it up to the wing. Here's Bell again, covering plenty of territory. Walker with his customary dash. Oh, the boundary umpire, a bit of a spoil sport there.
He didn't think so, Andrew Walker. I thought it was out 40 metres back when Brisbane took the ball forward, but boundary umpire right on the line in perfect position. He tries to hold it in. It's just when he brought it back into both hands, I think.
Well, it looks
so
like
Black and Judd going at it. That's going to be a fantastic battle.
It was terrific.
2 of the stars of the last decade.
Well, 2 of the most credentialed and awarded players in the game. Head-to-head, Black wins that one. This is Doherty, brushes past.
Oh, the man, Brisbane down here.
Oh, it's downfield. Hold on, they're going to give it.
JB.
Brown.
Another free's been paid over here.
Tom Rockliffe's going to get, is he?
Well, hold on. Wouldn't you rather have Jonathan Brown kicking?
Wow, but the free kick was paid before it was kicked from the middle of the ground too, Brown. I wonder if he's capable of going the journey. It'll take a 55-metre kick. Doesn't look confident, so he gives it to McGrath.
Now maybe McGrath can. He tees off McGrath. It's a little wayward off that tee. Henderson and Brown. And that might have been almost out in the full.
It was close. Jonathan Brown marked it. Nearly another case of 1 beating 2.
Been the nemesis of the Blues several times over the years. Finished off Dennis Pagan, didn't he, with that big bag of 10 up here. Back in 2007, a career best. Rockcliffe fashioned it out of the pack. What an effort that was!
Gee, they're up and about. Brisbane has been a great start for them to match it with the Blues, because the Blues have had plenty of opportunities, and they haven't had a lot of the ball forward, but when they do go forward, they look like scoring every time.
That is a great snap, isn't it? Just a great snap. Good player, Rockcliffe. He's been playing as a keen forward. Now, just have a look at Wade here, boys. This is where I'm worried about this matchup. Patfull leaves him. Wade doubles back. That is a massive lead from a defender. That has to be looked at straight away. Now, Patfull just took that on, and really, that quick kick had come in. It was still a 50-50 ball. No one had won the ball at that stage. So that's an issue they've got.
It's the way they play the game these days, Shorey. They try to run them up the ground, make the forward be accountable as well. But Wade's smart enough to say, well, if you're not 100% sure of winning this footy, I'm going to stay here.
Well, they hadn't won at that stage because the ball was in the air. So, gee, you take a massive chance.
Well, get some more thoughts on that from you, Jason, in a moment. But Carlton is surging here through Scotland. Out wide, Cruiser. Engaged by Michael, who did OK. Kane Lucas. There's a spurt coming through from Lucas. And he kicks truly as well. Frantic start to this game. It's a beauty.
Well, it's a goal feast, isn't it, at the moment? Not a lot of defensive work out there. Players getting on the ball. But, gee, that was magnificent speed just to get it at mine. I think Brock McLean's the one getting out of the mix, boys. He looks like he's playing nearly on a wing as a midfielder. Great crumbing, but Kade Lucas then to finish off here too, because you don't convert on a right foot very often from that pocket with that sort of swing. So
perfect spoil from Michael. He punched it to the boundary. Couldn't do any more than that.
Andrew, both ways, don't go high.
Clearly having his best season too, Kane Lucas.
Don't go high.
Enjoying being back at full fitness and obviously has the confidence of the coach. 2-2-14 Carlton. Brisbane 2 straight 12. Not even at the halfway stage, not even close to the halfway stage of the opening quarter so far. It was Armfield flying in off the square, but he couldn't really make any effective contact. Adcock gets it to half forward. No joy there for the Lions. Now there might be through Brown. Sweeping handball to Adcock.
Good vision.
It was perfect. And Jonathan Brown's got into the clear.
Well, see, one thing Jonathan Brown has to do in the twilight of his career is you've got to reach into your bag of tricks. You've got to do everything because he doesn't have the speed that he used to have, and he doesn't have the spring in the legs that he had. But what he has got is footy smarts. He just whipped out the back, found space after the initial contest. His opponent, Jamison, got sucked into the footy, didn't find it. Simon Black crumbed, and then they found Jonathan Brown in space.
That's it.
So a little bit of that traditional stutter from Brown, and he just maybe wasn't quite timed as well as normal, away to the left.
I'll tell you the other matchup too. Simon Black is giving it to Judd. Judd has yet to have a possession, and Black's clearance work, 3 disposals and 2 from contested possessions. So in the contest, Judd needs to get on the outside and maybe hurt him that way.
Oh, the big barrel.
Tui gave it plenty out to the wing. Didn't get the full connection, but it cleared the initial 50. Zorko, stand start from Yo. Down to the top of the square. Plenty of wrestling and body work going on. Despite the best efforts, Rockcliffe, Curnow, prepared to handball right across that last line. And Murphy too, attacking an aggressive frame of mind. Gave Simpson some run. And now Gibbs, Keisha calling for it short. Oh, he fell over and the ball didn't make that far anyway. Maloney intervened.
Gee, Mick Mould has to be filthy on that, boys. Another turnover here, though.
Handed it back. Judd won his own footy. Had to just dish it off to Robinson. They've got numbers out wide. McLean couldn't quite get it there, at least not quick enough. Keisha had to see if his own teammate, first of all. Now Gibbs had plenty of time to assess. And Lucas is providing an unlikely forward threat at the moment.
Well, that's what they get back with Bryce Gibbs in the team. He can use the footy. That's a beautiful kick. It was the only option. It was either that or try and kick the long 60-metre goal when the square was vacant. But he just sized up. He saw the pocket that Lucas was going to lean into, and look how beautifully he weighted the footy.
So Lucas already with a goal to his name.
They've taken Sam Doherty too deep. They're playing nearly as a full-back, Sam Doherty, so that's not a great matchup for Brisbane either.
His kicking a goal is not always a great strength, but he's made a lie of that tonight with 2 great goals.
It's the difference between Kane Lucas being just a standard player or a really good player. It comes down to what he does with the ball when he kicks it. Now, he's kicked 2 rippers from very tight angles, 1 on the run and 1 from a set shot. He can find the footy. He's got good speed. And when he uses the footy like this, he becomes an extremely damaging player for the Blues.
He's the man of the moment after 2 goals, Kane Lucas.
They made him a change there, yeah. I thought Doherty was just a young player playing nearly like a full back. Really didn't suit, so they put McGrath onto Lucas now.
Maloney was tagged heavily last week and had a season low for him, just 15 disposals. Gibbs puts the clamps on. Oh, it's a bounce. Throw up as it is these days.
Hands off, Andrew!
Plenty for the coaches to consider at this early stage. Nice bright start here at the Gabba. Crowd entertained. Murphy back to full force this week. Gave it, got inside the 50 and chanced his arm and might be regretting it now as Hanley takes the mark, just didn't give it enough.
Well, they can go over the top here and they've got a free player.
Michael's over the top if the ball gets there from Doherty.
It's too slow.
And that will please Mick Malthouse. But they're going to get out anyway to Polkinghorn.
Oh, take it on.
He had a glance behind. Armfield was closing. Up to the one-on-one.
He dropped that.
He didn't mark it, Lyle. He sort of gave himself up too. Henderson had paid it to him. Pat full. Brown in his sights. And there's McLean helping out with the sweep. So it's Jamison playing on Jonathan Brown, as you would have expected. Henderson lending a hand here and there. He's watching Lyle at the moment. It's Henderson. Former line, of course. There's Brown and Jamison. Cruiser having a run in the ruck. Down to McLean. Scotland. They're outnumbered. Waite came to try and level up. Even up the ledger. McLean feels a pretty heavy tackle from Patfull.
Squash up, J.A. Find out to it, the back there. Good tackling, guys. Good tackling.
Lots of talk going on out there from the players and the umpires. There's some high contact on Leicester.
Straight out, Tommy. Play on now. You.
So the 2 talls are down there. Lyle made good position. Leuenberger also was able to intervene, but the blind handball from Lyle went straight to Murphy, and he can create plenty off wherever he is, but it's brilliantly mown down.
Super tackle.
Magnificent chase. Zorko.
Yeah, it was Zorko. And uses range to get it out to Staker.
Gee, Jonathan Brown in space. Got to use him.
Commanded it, didn't he? And gave him a long time.
Well, Michael Jamison's looking back. I reckon there was a little bit of a crossover and they didn't communicate well because he's looked back at his teammates. He was 15, 20 metres away from Jonathan Brown then. He thought someone else was going to cover him. Mind you, that's what every key defender does when he gets beaten.
Exactly.
He looks back and says, where was the chop out?
If you want it.
He probably just pushed him off and let into space by 20 metres.
That's 15.
Kicked 2 in the game against Carlton last year, 3 the year before.
He'll get a play on call here if he's
He
not
will.
careful.
And 7 in that
20.
game back in 2010, round 1.
That was the longest 5 seconds I've ever had.
It was.
Yeah, no, it's a great call. Oi.
So here's Brown. Try and trim Carlton's lead back to 1.
Oh.
Walker.
I don't know that that's the end of the ground you try to take the
No.
pace. It's okay if you mark it, but if you don't, you leave yourself wide open.
Sean Smith's goal scorer, I think, wasn't it, down there? Long time ago now. Lyle.
Gee, they look dangerous when they get it in there attacking 50, Brisbane.
Judd was over the top. Black was having a crack. Mays. Oh, an interesting technique there from Bryce Gibbs. Thought for a moment he might have just
Half a
climbed into the
sling.
back.
Yeah, gee, I
Good
don't know.
lead.
A couple of times
knocked
Carlton.
it back into play.
Don't know what Mick Malthouse would like that.
There's Keisha, just a fraction high contact. Simpson got Gibbs on, so it allows them to get pretty comfortably up to the wing. And then, Hanley came from one side, but Jared Waite showing why he's so pivotal to Carlton's success.
That's twice he's beaten 2 Brisbane Lion defenders.
He goes for Cruiser.
Well, he's the one that's causing the problems at the moment, Jared Waite.
Yeah.
And now you know why he's so important and why they want him in this team. He's had so many injury problems with his back.
You know, you're right. You've got to attack early in the game, but I think you see something that's standing out, you make a change. And to me, Patfull isn't the man. I know. Look, I'd go Staker myself, but he's playing up on the half-forward line at the moment.
So it's Matty Cruiser. So many Carlton fans wondering whether he can be a key forward, or at least partially a key forward. Goal kicking ever important for the ruckman that try and have that play that role, and unfortunately he misses this occasion. And he's 2-6 for the season. Matty Cruiser.
Sloppy kick out. It's going to come straight back. You can understand why they give Patfull an opportunity. I mean, he's the best and fairest winner. He's played tall, he's played small, he can do it all. He's a terrific defender for Brisbane.
The weight's quite a fair way away from Patfull at the moment. He'll converge at the top of the square. McLean trying to get it to boot. Garlett. Curnow in there.
I think
Curnow being tackled.
The good thing about the game is that both forward lines look dangerous when they get the ball in, whether it's long or just their forwards keeping the ball in at ground level.
Bell, Leuenberger, Curnow.
There it is again.
Robinson. Quick fire shot at goal. It's the behind. It's the goal post. 3-4-22 Carlton. Brisbane 2-1-13.
You can hear the chatter from the umpires too.
Yeah.
Giving plenty of direction.
Wrapping each other up. Pierce Handley here on the kick in.
To himself this time.
Well played.
Keep going, keep going.
Free Staker up.
But that's why I like him so much at half back.
No doubt.
He's so creative, uses the ball well. And then he fumbles it.
No, that was a bad kick.
Cue. It wasn't a great kick, was
Came
it?
to grief, and Lucas again going to be involved in a Carlton scoring chance here.
But he's the one you want using the ball out of the defensive 50.
That's us.
Jeff Garlett.
Perfect. We're good here. Yeah.
Been
Good there.
prolific this year.
Yeah.
21 goals, 10 for the season. Looking for his 150th goal in AFL football here. Oh, that swung away very early.
All clear.
So it's 8 scoring shots to 3. What reflects the game better, that or the 10 inside 50s to 7?
Well,
Scoring shots to me.
Yeah, they probably should have kicked another 2 goals, so that's a situation of it at the moment.
They've bunched here, and you should always be able to get the ball out when you bunch and the opposition go man on man, because you get a block and you get released.
And McGrath's able to do that. Maloney. Carlton lead by 10. Still 7 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Simon White there to try and spoil, which he did reasonably successfully. Oh, poking horn. Really pumped that handball, but it was just in the drawback. It was taken over the line.
Yeah, got him.
Warnock comes to it with Leuenberger. Leuenberger, some beautiful palming work last week. There's Lucas.
Mark Murphy being held. Downfield or back? No, back here. Back here. Mark Murphy back there.
Well, that sort of helps the Brisbane, doesn't it? You know, I know the kick went forward, but now they just get numbers behind the play. Umpire off the play adjudicated that decision.
Gee, Simpson ran hard to be an option. Ran 100 metres, Cade Simpson.
Murphy coming in for his 6th disposal. Chris Judd, as we mentioned, been nullified so far. Just has 2 handballs to his name. Here's Lucas. He's really enjoying the action. Jamison.
Right there, stay out.
And Keisha. To half forward. Cruiser hitting the contest just at the right moment. Armfield angled the kick into the pocket. And again, Patfull giving a lot of liberty to Jared Waite. Stand start to the square, hoping that Robinson can fly. I thought he got under the ball a bit there, Robinson, but the arms and the hands went up strongly. And he drags down the mark, and a chance for the Blues to extend this margin to 16 now.
Too good for Elliott Yeo in the air there. Again, it looked like they had 2-on-1 flying for the ball and just unable to affect to spoil the Lions' defence. So Carlton troubling them in the air. Patfull was playing well off Jared Waite. He was covering the corridor and allowing him the boundary line, because he said you're not going to kick goals from there, but he's setting goals up.
So Mitch Robinson. He puts it through. No mistake there.
Well, let's just see the positioning
Boys,
here.
I just want to touch on Jared Waite here. We spoke about him in the opener. He's just dictating to Patfull. He started on Doherty there and he moved off. He's just dictating the space. What's happening is the sides are pushing up, trying to squeeze. He's just finding too much space, lateral movement. We know he can run and jump, athletic type. But Patfull's just got to tighten up, more body pressure, make him accountable. In the air, he's going to obviously get beaten because of his leap and his athleticism, but you just got to be more physical with Jared Waite.
That's another good contested mark to Carlton in the forward 50. They'll be enjoying that. And Diggo makes a very good point about Jared Waite. It's his movement that is not allowing them to arrange their 2-on-1 to combat him. Keeps taking the defenders out of position, then resetting, then leading, moving laterally. Mate, they're forever looking where he is and taking their eye off the footy.
I still don't believe that Patfull's been a very good one-on-one player. He has been a good intercept player and a player who can be that third man up. He might be the one to allow that to happen, to stop him as that number 2.
Garlett first, then Curnow, and they're into the 50, but now it's coming out just as smartly for the Lions. Out to Doherty from Yeo. And then to half forward, Black the target.
Oh, had his arms taken.
It did look like there was interference, didn't it? Walker comes marching out again. Asked a fair bit of cruiser. Michael did well. He's in his debut game. Adcock trying to take on Judd, and he might well. Oh,
there's the second one you could hear the umpire saying. It was when he put him to ground. Good aggression from Chris Judd though, because Adcock took him on, and he just said, not a chance getting through here.
Rockcliffe next off the line, pushing up hard. Kicked a nice goal early.
See, both sides are getting players coming up with the ball carrier and getting a lot of space to do it. Allowing the kicks in the midfield. This is dangerous though. When he got there.
Hanley used that willpower and renowned running to get there, take the mark.
He's the bloke you want kicking the footy.
He's had an outstanding season, averaging 24 disposals, kicking efficiency around the 75% mark. Jack Redden. It's his first disposal of the night, Redden. And look at the pack fly. Look at Mitch Robinson. He won't die wondering in any part of this game. Buick, Rains, hurried kick, but turned out perfectly. Polkinghorne, much to the frustration of Scotland, takes the mark in front of goal, collects the high fives on the way through.
Well, the difference in that marking contest was one bloke was watching the footy and one wasn't. Heath Scotland was watching Polkinghorne, and Polkinghorne just shuffled around to the side, pushed to the front and got the quick kick forward, and Scotland just didn't see the kick coming. He was just concerned about his positioning on his opponent, to find a way to touch and feel your opponent while also tracking the footy at the same time.
And Polkinghorne puts it through, cuts the margin back to 10. Entertaining game at the Gabba. Well, it doesn't seem that long ago, does it? These two sides are in the NAB Cup Grand Final a couple of months ago. Tui started with a big super goal, but then the Lions got going. Dane Zorko was on fire, and the Brisbane Lions had plenty to smile about. Michael Voss all looked good. Even Jonathan Brown was finding some form after a long layoff. And the Lions were triumphant, the NAB Cup winners of season 2013. Unfortunately, a lot of that form would desert them going into the season.
Well, leading possession getter on the ground at the moment, Mark Murphy with 6. Andrew Rains needs to tighten up on him from Brisbane's perspective. And for the Lions, Staker and Rockcliffe have had 5 apiece.
Lyle takes his turn in the ruck. Did okay against Warnock, but Murphy kick-starts the Blues again. Armfield, a fumble from Kasha.
That'll go to Ed. Oh, wow. I thought that was going to go to Adcock.
Okay, we'll have another look at it if we get a chance. Scotland stretches out Lucas, but from behind again, the loopster is Robinson. And he's going to have a shot from just on the 50. Maybe just outside.
Gee, they're smashing him in the air. Anytime it gets in there, they look dangerous in the air, Carlton. And this man, you know, Mitch Robinson, he likes to take a hanger when he can. I don't know if he takes him a lot, but he does like having a leap at the ball.
Well, Merritt's absence is being felt, isn't it?
Is it what?
In defence.
And Clark.
For the Lions. So here's Robinson for the quick response for the Blues. Pushes out wide a little bit to just gain an extra centimetre or two. It didn't affect his alignment at goal.
5 zip the contested marks in favour of the Blues, and a couple of them happening in the attacking 50. See, that was the one where you go down and I guess he hit Adcock above the.
Didn't hit him in the legs, really, did he? It was more the
caught him in the thighs. But he it looks dangerous, doesn't he? Leading and jumping, Mitch Robinson. Interesting kicking style. He got very close to the man on the mark, and he went out on the big arc to get the extra distance. But he handled it particularly well.
Margin 16 points. It's a goal fest at the moment. Still a couple of minutes to go. Carlton have had 10 shots at goal in this opening quarter, and they lead by 16. And Judd's had very little part. Case has been terrific again. His 6th disposal takes them into the 50. Staker, Robinson was hunting. The Lions very much on alert at the moment. Young Michael was able to get the handball. Yeah, there's some stress down there, but also some reason for stress. Armfield good again. Leicester smothered. Gibbs, like the Harlem Globetrotters there with that little spinning manoeuvre.
I think he thought Staker was a teammate then. He just chipped it over to the only player that was loose there.
Well, there's that change anyway, boys. Staker has been pushed back now.
And he's got Black on the exit. And here's Brown.
Chris Judd, 2 disposals to this stage of the game.
Simon Black's had 5 disposals.
Both handballs.
Hands up! Hands
Here's
up!
Rockcliffe. Simon White is watching him, so it's an interesting matchup, that one.
It's a big job for young Jared Casey too, following Brent Maloney around. He's kept Maloney to 3 possessions at this stage, so doing a particularly good job.
Had 10 tackles last week, Jared Casey.
Gee, that was clever then. Through the legs and took it beautifully, Bryce Gibbs.
Well, the Lions need something before quarter time, ideally. 16 points in arrears at the moment. It's been a very strong start to this game by Carlton. That man, as we said, sorely missed by the Lions so far. Inside 50 count, almost double, 15 to 8. Let's see if there's a late one for the Lions that might be able to gain them something. Again, they're being shut down on all avenues. Gibbs.
I reckon he's thrown that. Who's Scotland then? He had one hand held. I think he might have just thrown that in the contest. Just a disposal inside 50 the last 10 minutes. Brisbane hasn't been as good as Carlton. There's no doubt. Either the pressure from the Carlton midfield or just not looking up over the line.
Last 50 seconds then. Judd again can't get the run of it. Doherty, Black. Here's Judd. Another handball. Got it moving to Bell. Did the best he could in a difficult situation. Tight squeeze. McGrath again. They're hunting hard with Bell first, then Wait. And Bell again gets some reward. He's got Armfield to the left. He's going to pump it into the 50. Interference. And it's a Carlton free to Garlett. We thought the free was going against him.
Yeah, he thought he slung.
Well, I reckon maybe the umpire missed the initial contact.
Your end zone.
Because I can understand why he paid the free kick with what he saw. That bit there, but it's actually Garlett pushing
It was the arms.
Reigns from the front. It was the arms that looked like he was tackling Garlett, which is why he paid the free kick. So you can understand why the umpire paid it.
Very disgruntled crowd at the moment. Not just that decision, it's the Lions being put to the sword by the Blues. And a goal here will take it out to 22 points at quarter time. Powerful statement by Carlton at the Gabba. A 6-goal opening term.
Just might have got away with one there. Jeffy Garlett, he's doing all the pushing. He runs into him.
I don't think even that was around the neck. It was more around the shoulders, but you're right. Was that a push off that, well, they call it 2 actions, wasn't it? The action, the push off the mark. But the other thing I'd like, though, Reigns wasn't watching the ball. So as soon as you take your eye off the ball, I think you pay the penalty most of the time.
Dominating contested possessions, the Blues, and also doing very well from stoppages. You have a look at the score sources. Look at that, 4-4 to 1-1 from stoppages.
Well, they're winning the clearances, Jace, 14 to 5.
Yep. It's a smashing, isn't it?
Also 4 marks for their out of their 6 goals for goals, which is a big thing, which we know about.
All the right numbers for the Blues. That young man, 22-year-old Jared Casey, gets some plaudits from his teammates because really workmanlike effort again, locking down on Maloney, and Jared Waite's hitting some form, so it's all good for Carlton.
It is. It's a good start, but Brisbane have got to answer now.
They do. Mark Harvey has plenty to say to Michael Voss. Bit of a limp on Robbie Warnock. Plenty happening at the Gabba.
I don't think they'd have too many concerns in the Blues box at the moment, would they?
No.
But the kicking a goal was a concern for them last week, and they'll be hoping they capitalise. But it's Brisbane that really needs to turn things around at the start of this second term. So let's see the response. Rockcliffe in the middle of the ground. And let's see how their forward line operates. Buick at the point of the square. Brown doing the tackling against Jamison. Curnow. And there was Simpson to Judd. 3 handballs. Now it's 4 for the night so far. Curnow, Lucas starting to combine strongly and with great positive forward force the Blues. Keisha again, the high up and under. Michael versus Cruiser. Adcock got the handball going to Lyle. Blues with the extra there. Henderson with great authority. Judd could barely have kicked it any higher to half forward.
Play on!
He's looking for Cruiser to use his height. This is Adcock.
They've just got to use the ball a little bit better when they're going forward, Brisbane, and identify where the one-on-ones are or where the loose players are and not kick to an outnumbered opponent.
Better.
That's a good kick, isn't it?
Hanley. Now the push and the shove. In deep. It's Tui and Polkinghorne.
Oh,
That's why, well, I tell you, it's a great push off and one-handed mark, but the kick had to be spot on because there were Carlton players ringed around him. It was Pierce Hanley. Boy, can he kick a footy.
I would say 2 weeks earlier, that would have been a free kick for a double action too. See if he pushes up before that.
Just holds him off. That's great
perfect,
work.
isn't it?
Yep.
It's an unusual player, really, from Brisbane to be coming out of the square effectively. Polkinghorne. He kicked some important goals in his time at Brisbane, and that one was shaping back, but not enough.
Good looking kick.
Banged that memorable torp through against West Coast here last year.
Look at Waite with the long lead.
It was. And Walker found him effectively.
He's the most influential player on the ground at the moment, Jared Waite.
He's got a new opponent, which I think might be a better matchup. Anyway, you don't mind him getting it at half back though, Jace, do you?
No.
You don't want him getting in the forward line.
And there's Keisha again.
Move it on! Play on!
Fairly bold kick back to Jamison. Let's say they
Oh,
will
they're
affect the
out
switch here because he had Simpson out wide. He could have gone to Curnow through the middle. Chooses a slightly more conservative route. Now the handball goes back through the middle. A little bit of it, well, quite a lot of indecision actually. Eventually McLean takes the mark. The forwards have held their position until now. Warnock comes loping out of the goal square. There he is in the middle of your frame. And the ball easily farmed over the boundary line by Leuenberger.
I don't think Robbie Warnock's going to get on the lead and get even off Leuenberger. Even I think he's got him for speed.
Hands off, Brent! Hands off!
Maloney was trying to catch on to Judd, who was charging through. Black was also involved in that. He got the footy, and now Polkinghorne is bursting and trying to share the ball along the wing. Hanley probably couldn't be in better hands. And well worked. Buick on the end of it.
Well, he's a beautiful kick, Buick. Just go back. You need a goal for your club in this situation. But I don't think that Mick Moldhouse, the back of that contest, how Polkinghorne received the ball at the back of that contest, you'd have to have a look at that because someone didn't roll up with him.
So Rowan Buick, 7 goals, 10 going into tonight. But has a goal to his name so far. Unfortunately, it doesn't add to it.
That's a long way off target.
Thank you.
They'll find a way to lock the ball down this end of the ground, Brisbane. Carlton have been a little bit more methodical moving the ball forward than the Lions.
Play on!
Walker. Curnow didn't quite have the leap needed. Simpson found a way around Mays. Left him in his wake and then drives up to the wing. This is Bell taking the grab for the Blues. Glances into the middle. Armfield was there for him. Eventually went shorter instead to Cruiser. Stretching out. Goes with it for the Blues. Hefty kick to the square. And great body use from Wade again. Takes the mark. And he is a massive, massive issue at the moment.
So I can see your frustration, Shorey. It's not just the matchup. It's also the way that Joel Patfull's trying to play Jared Waite, and that is by staying 5 metres, 10 metres in front, cutting off the lead. He's getting outbodied and outmarked.
This for his second, and Carlton lead by 26 points at the Gabba.
Yeah, well,
keep your eye on him, top right. You'll see him there. He's right up around the 50-metre arc, and then he just pushes back hard. And Patfull's just, he's too slow to react.
You cannot do that. You cannot
too
play
slow to react.
Now, if he's in that pocket, he takes that mark. I've got to say this. If he's in that pocket, Patfull should be at centre corridor side of him, forcing him to the boundary line to allow a player to get 20 metres backward of you. Disastrous.
Yes. Straight back to you. Just play the footy, boys. None of this rubbish stuff. Works both ways.
I reckon it'd be last chance now for Joel Patfull. If he doesn't find a way to negate Jared Waite's influence, I think we might see a rotation there.
Touch, play on.
Well, they're leaking goals down there at the moment, aren't they? It's 26
Play on,
points
touched
the
off the
difference.
boot.
Good enough to get it up to Mays. Little flip back from Buick. Good tackling pressure, but the Blues are fairly steadfast. Here comes Bell. You can't miss him as he charges through. A little bit pull at the gate. But quite a presence out there, and Walker takes it over the line and out of bounds.
Still playing forward or on a wing. Brent Staker, I think, at the moment.
Oh, Black. Hanley. Eventually, he had to go to ground. He was taking a few prisoners with him.
Oh, please, I thought he was going to give Holden the ball there. Don't penalise the player who's making the play, but gee, hit this ball hard. Great hands by Black.
Yeah, he tried to handle it, so got knocked back in.
McLean. And again, the Blues able to repel. Simpson.
That was a poor decision by Jed Adcock. He left Armfield to attack the man with the ball and didn't get there.
Armfield drives up. Lucas went to ground. He was the first to get up again. Doherty pursuing. Lucas has kicked 2 tonight. Central ball this time. And shoveling his way to the front was Garlett. He was the last man standing. The rest all fell down. Another goal to the Blues.
It's almost comical at the moment, and it's not for Michael Voss. He's not seen the funny side of it, but the number of times Brisbane have had 2-on-1, 2 defenders on 1 forward, and they just, for whatever reason, aren't communicating, aren't combining properly. They take each other out, and Jeff Garlett kicks a pretty simple goal.
I think go with some of your senior players. You're missing senior players, Merritt, the leader. Go with some senior players back in the back half.
Well, this is real trouble for the Lions. They need to respond. All that aggression they showed last week, where's that been tonight?
Yeah, it hasn't been. Nowhere near enough pressure on the Blues when they get the footy.
Blues really clicking into gear. Robinson, high ball to half forward.
He's
Lucas
a problem.
Again.
He's a problem too for Doherty.
He's playing well.
Andrew, Mark's here, Andrew.
He got Murphy behind him.
Me.
He's getting a tag, so he was looking for any extra touch he can muster at the moment. He's going to go again here, Murphy. McLean tried to get it to him. Scotland, bit of a standoff. And McLean takes it over the line. McLean has had 10 disposals so far tonight.
So Maloney's trying to go to Brock McLean with Casey going to him. Casey's not allowing it at the moment. Doing a really good job on him.
Warnock.
Not 15, play on.
Again, just ad-libbing in the situation. Got it out off the boot. Scotland. Jammed it forward. Good play from in front that time from Patfull. Mays scooting through centre half back. Out for Buick versus Walker. Buick gathers. Oh, just a moment or two there as Hanley was forced to juggle. Let's get down to Ben Dixon.
Thanks, Hutto. Just mentioned in the opener the absence of Merritt and Clark with the spare down back. We're just finding that Brisbane are not winning. We saw in the first quarter Jared Waite was finding plenty of space. They're going man on man, which is obviously not working for them, but they're dropping their winger down and it's too late. There's plenty of space there, so Carlton had a big win in the first quarter.
Not enough protection provided for Kerner, and there's a win for Brisbane. They should take that maybe and keep building on it.
Yeah, just a little bit too clever, the Blues there. So an opportunity now for Brisbane.
Very early in this second quarter. They'll be flat the Lions, but maybe they can jag a goal here. There's Simon White buffeted around. Some pressure on Keisha. Rains. He'll go at it hard. Hammers it onto the left. Needs the bounce. Didn't quite get it. Jamison wasn't quite sure what was happening there. It found him, didn't it, really?
One of those that you don't know is it going to sit up or run quickly along the ground. But this is where the Blues have been moving it out of defence too easy. Far too easily. And at the other end, Brisbane are really struggling. And a lot of that is often put down to work rate. Brisbane just not working as hard as the Blues are and creating options. And then when they haven't got the ball, making sure that they work hard defensively.
Armfield along the line again. Cruiser. Garlett way down underneath.
Gee, nearly right.
Cruiser forced just to do what he could. Bumps it over the line.
Well, we heard David King and Bradley Johnson talking about inside 50s. 21 inside 50s at this stage of the game. And the scores from that is just unbelievable. So they've got to stem the tide, win a lot more possession, or at least pressure in the middle of the ground, the Brisbane Lions.
Warnock brought it to ground. There's Leuenberger. And Black's anticipation, first class as it always is. Rains, Rockcliffe, poked it to Maloney. Scotland ensured he wasn't going any further, at least not yet. Buick is deep and so is Brown.
Yeah, but they've got a loose back, so it's 1 against 2.
Brown will just have to bulldoze him through.
And there's the difference, Hutto. They organise it better, the Blues. They get strong positioning of 2 experienced key defenders, and Jonathan Brown's got no chance. Whereas at the other end, Jared Waite, even when he's 1 against 2, is leading them a merry dance.
Henderson had 15 games here in 2 seasons, of course, for Brisbane.
We've got to use that player now. Henderson hasn't gone to anybody. He's that loose. You can see him right in the 50-metre arc, right on it now. Someone has to engage him or go to his man. At least that now he's going to get back for this marking contest.
Well, that's where you get frustrated, is when the player with the ball kicks it straight to where the loose man is.
Exactly.
Gibbs.
I mean, you may as well kick to a contest somewhere else, a one-on-one.
Or slide it a bit, yeah.
Rest, reflecting on his strong start to the game. He's had 6 kicks for 2 goals, 1, and 6 marks as well, Jared Waite. Warnock, Maloney, shrug of the shoulders at the right time. He's curled it back. What a goal. That's Brent Maloney at his best. That's the lift the Lions need.
It's the first time he's been able to break away tonight, Brent Maloney. Young Jared Case is doing a particularly good job. And that's just possession number 6. He's had 5 kicks and a hand pass, and only 2 of the 5 kicks have been effective, so he's receiving plenty of attention. But therein lies the benefit of someone like Brent Maloney. The strength to get out of a stoppage contest and then finish. Just needs a few more mates around the middle of the ground.
Six disposals and a goal for Maloney.
Now there's Brent Staker. He looks like he's the loose man in defence for Brisbane. You can see he doesn't know who to go to at the moment. So they're not as settled as at the other end when you were talking about the Carlton defender being that way.
Yeah, there's great uncertainty down there, isn't there, in Brisbane? Judd fashioned a half handball out of there. Hanley's got the run of it now.
Been good, this bloke, Hanley.
And Maloney skipping past. Going the wrong way for Brisbane, but that's about to change.
It's a good kick.
Was for Mays. Lyle breaks to the outer wing and take a really good pass, so in the end he decides to get it to Polking.
What was that?
I don't know.
It looked like a throw.
Some sort of handball-ish sort of thing. Now, Garlett keeping them guessing, kicking up to the wing, juggling mark to Murphy.
They got loose. They got Lucas in the square on his own at the moment.
Well, they can get it in there quickly, and Waite knows that. There's urgency about it for the Blues. They'll work the numbers. Bell decides to take the shot.
That's an inexperienced decision.
Yeah.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying it's experience and not selfishness.
No, I'd say it's inexperience. He was probably in 2 minds and didn't go through with the right technique either way.
Thanks, Kane.
We'll make excuses for him anyway.
Right, needs to be a really good kick.
Redden.
Gee whiz.
Why wouldn't you just take it out over the boundary line?
Please.
I got the mark, mate.
And the free goes to Hanley. Brown keeps the work rate going to get up to the wing and take the mark.
Again, that's not what Brisbane want, him getting the footy, but that's a very interesting place to kick the footy, Jonathan Brown.
Well, Murphy was right onto it.
Oh, he's marked it! Didn't he mark it?
I thought he did. Maybe it hit the ground. He wasn't going to hang around and argue the toss. Got it going to Rockcliffe. At least it's opened them up. It's given them a little bit of adrenaline, a bit of a rush through centre half forward. Maloney takes the mark.
Got loose players everywhere.
He had Redden on this side of the ground.
Zorko's on if he gets...
Oh, poor option.
Black might still make it look okay.
Got a loose player.
He's
Great
gonna
kick.
pass it.
Great kick.
Clever.
And Redden handballs. Staker puts it through.
Shorey, they chose the wrong option.
No,
but the reason they got out of it is because the wrong option was Simon Black, and he made it the right option. It looked like he nearly marked that.
Oh,
It's just dropped it there. She was spectacular from Pierce Hanley at half-back. But have a look at Simon Black here. She shields it, nurses it around the boundary, and then on the opposite foot spots the loose player and makes it a certain goal.
Well, the thing that made Simon Black there was that he normally kicks with his left foot. He loves to kick. He's a great handball. But Simon White, on that occasion, played the corridor, did the right thing, not believing that he'd go back onto his non-preferred, because Blackie normally goes onto his left the majority of the time.
So is there a little something up and going for Brisbane? A couple of goals in a row.
They're fumbling at the moment.
Oh, Zorko was... I wish he could have his time again.
Great chase.
Tui, Zorko, we know he can hunt them like few others. Puts them down into the mine too, and the kick was affected. Mitch Robinson, his kick also smothered, but it got to Carlton.
Oh, great tackle.
Had to handball wildly and just hope for the best.
She worked hard there, McGrath.
Oh, he's got crunch surely in the back. Crowd frustrated with that.
They worked that out really well there, Brisbane.
They've picked it up, Brisbane.
Yeah.
The intensity's up now.
Change has swept over the Gabba. And the crowd and the Lions players hope that continues. Big Leuenberger.
That's it, Waddy.
Let's get down to you, Dicko.
Yeah, Hutto, just exactly what Brisbane did last week. Aggressive, hard at it, showed it. I mean, initiate the contact, everything. It's coming. It's taken to the second quarter. The crowd's up and about down here. It's hard to hear, but Brisbane starting to get on top, getting a bit more momentum.
Neat footwork by Staker to get them going.
Oh,
Black ran out of real estate.
tell you what, that
there,
nearly has to be intentional. Great experience from Simon. He's walked across the line. No one at the ruck contest.
No one at the ruck contest. It was just plucked out of the air by Polkinghorne, and unfortunately they've given up way too easily.
Should have just squared it up when he had the opportunity on the left foot.
Yeah.
Tom Rockcliffe just wanted to do a little bit too much with it.
So Bell works it back to Keisha.
But at least they've stopped that quick exit for the moment. A little bit of pressure here on the Blues. It's been a good 5 minutes for Brisbane.
They've turned it around in the clearances too, haven't they? There it is, 9-3 for the quarter, Brisbane. That was one way, the other way in the opening term. And now everything's starting to fall for the Lions. Maloney caught!
A one-hander.
Caught in the gully.
Mick Moldhouse not happy, but the Brisbane fans are ecstatic here. As I said, they've just put Carlton under pressure the last 5 minutes, and they've stopped the easy exit out of the defensive 50. They had to kick long to a contest. Brisbane won it back. Didn't look like the best of kicks from McGrath, but have a look at the take from Maloney. That's brilliant. From one hand, and then just put it in the other. Let's hope he can finish. Deserves a goal.
It does. A mark like that needs 6 points to go alongside it. And the Brisbane Lions have kicked 3 in a row.
Two for Brent Maloney. He's lifted.
Yeah, no, look, at the moment, he's just run Jared Keisha off his feet here. His contest work's just brilliant. Matter of fact, over the last month, he's won 12 centre clearances, so he's doing it all at the moment. But he's the man who's lifted 2 goals in the quarter, and that is as good as you'll see. We might see a bit of that in the Ashes series coming up, I would think.
Superb. He's up to 9 possessions. Kicked a couple of goals in this second term. He is one of the reasons they're back in it.
There's the influence in this second term of Maloney and Pierce Hanley, who's had 8 disposals for the second quarter.
And that's the great learning curve of someone like Jared Keisha, Hutto. You completely eclipse him in the first quarter. He's probably feeling good about the job. You relax for a minute. The bloke goes bang, bang. He's got a couple of goals and he's got the team back.
And it's back to 14 points, and Maloney's not finished with yet. Just got a little untidy for a moment. Staker careful, so was Gibbs. Staker went hard and hard again. All the players have to lift at the moment. Chris Judd, he's one who can do it. In the blink of an eye, quickly up it goes. He'll go again, Judd. And he might need to go a third time because Carlton need all the resources now. Under pressure, things have changed at the Gabba.
No effort.
Walker, back to McLean, to half forward. Patfull in front of Wade. And Maloney. There's Judd again. He can't quite get it. Lucas. Kick was smothered. Mays.
Good vision.
Threading it through to Buick. They're hurting them on the rebound at the moment. Buick. Now Jonathan Brown makes his move. We've seen that a few times over the years, and we've seen him kick goals from here too.
Hasn't momentum shifted?
Oh, their pressure at the even Maloney at half-back, he went with his head down and the ball spilled out, but he was really hard at the contest. They're a bit shattered at the moment, the Blues.
So it's Jonathan Brown. The margin is 14. Brown comes in.
No.
Absolutely flawless. Right through the middle.
This has been huge from the Lions. It looked as though they were hanging on for grim death. Carlton threatened to break away from them, and then in the space of 7 or 8 minutes, the work rate's lifted, the aggression's lifted. They've started to use the ball better. That kick from half back,
Sammy Mays.
It was an absolute ripper. And then Buick brought it back into the corridor. Rather than using the player on his outside, he had Jonathan Brown one out. He waited for him to come at him and hit him with a beautiful lead-up pass. And how many times have we seen the one finger go up from Jonathan Brown?
Well, sorry, Hutto, but I've always said if I wanted the ball in someone's hand, and probably the man next to me would be one of them, Jason Dunstall, but Jonathan Brown, just a beautiful style that he's got when he kicks a goal. Gee, a clearance again.
Oh, Redden pumps it in there, putting this Carlton defence under all sorts of pressure and anxiety. Hook kick from Simpson. It was a get me out of here job.
Wasn't what?
It was pretty good though. Found the boundary.
That's what's happened, Hutto. They were controlling the football out of defence, now kicking to a contest or just hurriedly clearing the area.
Stay your meter.
Looking a lot more positive about things, Michael Voss.
Well, the disposal efficiency, look at that. Look at the gap between the two sides in the last 10 minutes. 84%. Barely missing a target. The Blues just with hurried stuff like that. He's been picked off. Adcock, good persistence.
Look at the numbers coming to support from Brisbane.
Just the wave of numbers coming through, making life awfully difficult. They're laying tackles. They're putting the pressure on. It's all returned, all that they did so well last week.
And I don't know what the catalyst was, but it lifted sort of halfway through this term.
Cruiser to Judd. Instant kick to half forward. Gaining ground. This time, look how far in front of weight he was there, Pat.
No, that's all right. It's in general play. That's okay.
Kicks it back to the wing.
Getting numbers everywhere, Brisbane.
And Redden, well done too. He muscled him out of it. Lucas's kick.
Beautiful by Black.
Doherty back to Black again. He's still a master, isn't he, Black? So creative. Zorko running, being hotly pursued. Needed help from behind and got it. Kick comes in towards full forward. And Polkinghorne again one out after the Buick entry. Scotland, all hands on deck needed for the Blues. And Simpson. And you can see Henderson just in the background there saying, calm down, everyone. Let's just pull a little bit of the wind out of this game for the moment.
And they continue to hold the Blues up now. There's no easy exit. This is fantastic from Brisbane.
Oh, wonky old kick on the up to the wing from Lucas. So it's affecting everyone right across the ground.
For the first quarter and a half, whenever Carlton got the ball down back, they changed direction, have runners out the other side, and they turn it into an inside 50. Now they're struggling to clear their defensive half of the ground. 4
consecutive goals will do that. That's what Brisbane have provided so far. And they're coming again. And Black goes for Brown. They had the numbers. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get the run of the footy.
Oh, gee, they messed that up, didn't they?
So did Carlton.
Yeah, they had
free kick.
Got a free.
That is pressure.
Gee, it's changed.
Heath Scotland just couldn't get the handball out.
That's perceived pressure, right, Shorey?
No doubt.
A little bit of panic crept in.
Look at here, he didn't know whether the handball, someone tackled him by the pants and just to stretch in for a cheap free kick.
The important thing for Brisbane is to capitalise on these opportunities, to keep the momentum going and make sure there's scoreboard impact.
He's played a role in keeping Walker down to just 5 disposals. Too. Buick comes in and he drills another one. And they're back to 2 the difference. Astonishing second turn from the Brisbane Lions. And you really couldn't see this coming, Shorey.
Well, 13-9 inside 50s. The pressure around the ball's picked up. You've got to go to some of their senior players, though. Black, Maloney, maybe Casey needs a spell from that job on Maloney just for the next end of this quarter. Because if this clearance domination keeps going, they might be behind at half-time, I would think, the Blues.
Well, they've got their belief, haven't they, the Lions? The tails are certainly up at the moment. After 5 consecutive goals, Carlton's lead a slender 2 points now at the Gabba. Warnock didn't get the timing right. He's storming through again, Maloney. What a term he's played. Tui, give it a quick tour. Rockcliffe goes in hard. They're just keeping it moving at all costs. Buick dealt it out. Redden, it's coming, it's coming. It's here, and so are the Lions.
Well, this is exciting to watch. I mean, it's lifted the roof off the stadium here at the Gabba. The crowd's going berserk. And I think there's a lot of po-faced Carlton supporters in the crowd that don't know what's happening. And it's hard to put a finger on one particular act as the catalyst, but somehow the Brisbane players got the message. The work rate lifted, the intensity lifted, the aggression lifted. They're hunting in numbers now. They're hunting in packs. And look at the reward they're getting. This is outstanding. Now can the Blues respond?
Brisbane trailed by 32 points at the 7-minute mark, and now at the 26-minute mark, with just 2 minutes to go, they find themselves in front. 6 consecutive goals.
I reckon you could say it in one word. It's called tackling, boys. 32-18 at this stage of the game.
Oh, Maloney's
Brisbane's
been
way.
huge in this quarter. Sends another clearance out to the wing. And it's going to be shut down this time by Simpson.
This is where Carlton missed Carazzo, because you'd be throwing Carazzo straight to Maloney. Matter of fact, this man here, Kate Simpson's done some shutdown rolls. Maybe it's his chance. It's nearly close to half-time, so they probably won't move it now.
Maloney's had 10 disposals for the quarter.
You better go back. That's 50. Gee, that's dumb. You've got to listen.
Come on.
He blew the whistle 3 times and he never moved. I mean, you can't afford to cough up a goal like this. Gee, that's disappointing for Brisbane. You've got all the momentum. The ball's not hurting you up on the wing on the boundary line.
They're called coach killers, and here they just get back in the corridor here. Andrew Rains, 3 whistles, something. He blows the whistle for a reason, not because he likes blowing the whistle, the umpire. Got to be better than that.
It has been the odd umpire that likes to blow their whistle showing over the time.
Just frustration, because they've done so well to get to this situation.
It's a big kick for the Blues.
Oh, it's massive, this.
He does run out to the right when he kicks it.
He'll know how big it is. He's out to the right. There he is. He comes sweeping back too far.
Too far.
Good call, Jace.
Well, it's a finesse kick when you kick the ball across the body like that. But under pressure, it's going to break down. So he's run 3 metres over the mark.
Come back.
You can see the umpire.
Move it on. Play on.
Don't know why he's surprised.
It only cost them 1 point.
Oh, that's a free kick.
No interference paid.
Mitch Robinson down. Looks like he hurt himself there.
He's trying not to show it. Something's maybe the wrist or the... Or is it the neck?
Interesting grip on the back of the neck, isn't it? Look at the tackling.
Hold the man up.
Not a popular decision, as you can hear by the crowd reaction. Sometimes it's very difficult as a tackler to see when the ball actually comes out.
Murphy settles on Garlett in the pocket. It comes bouncing back very quickly. Doherty. It kept on going up to the wing. White with the spoil. Tui.
Tackle.
Not this time. And there's Simon White again.
They are fumbly, the Blues.
They are.
They're on here.
Brown just couldn't break through. Oh, that could have been high. Play on the call. 44 seconds to go in the quarter. Henderson gets it in there quickly. Leuenberger.
Well done, Matty
Everyone
Leuenberger.
playing their part.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting back, making sure that Cruiser didn't take a mark, playing in front of him. That's a beauty, and that's a very ordinary kick.
That is a shocker.
Touch the Carlton president about that kick. The great Stephen Kernahan.
Another great tackle.
And so the ball over the line and out of bounds. 19 seconds to go. Half time, we're going to have a close look at Jared Waite's game and his influence. And also Michael Voss is going to join us. So there's plenty to hang around for. And this game is well worth waiting for because the margin is only 3. Brisbane with an outside chance of adding to that. Brown. Oh, is it a free? No, it's not. So the siren sounds to end a spectacular quarter of football at the Gabba, and all the Lions fans are on their feet. Look at the Carlton supporters behind Jonathan Brown. They are stunned. 9-4-58 Brisbane, 8-7-55 Carlton.
Well, every right to be stunned, Hutto. A 6-goal quarter from the Lions, 6 goals in succession that just tore the heart out of the Blues. They've got to go to the rooms now, get themselves together, get themselves reorganised and come out again in the second half, because all the momentum is with Brisbane.
What a Saturday night of footy we've got. Stay with us. It's Brisbane 9-4, Carlton 8-7. The home team in front by 3 points after a spectacular second term.
Just the 9 possessions for Chris Judd in the first half and just 7 possessions for Bryce Gibbs.
Third quarter, and what a term it could be. Carlton need to respond. And that's an obvious statement given how well Brisbane played in the second term. 6 consecutive goals. They were getting it out of the middle. They were winning these clearances. Redden thrusting it forward. Another opportunity, yes. And Rockcliffe starting in the forward 50 again. Kicked an early goal tonight. And he's lining up for another.
Well, the Brisbane Lions wouldn't have wanted the half-time siren to sound, because when you get on a roll, you kick 6 in a row, you just want to continue that momentum. So it's very important after a break, when the opposition's had a chance to regather and regroup, that you pick up where you left off. This is a really important kick for Brisbane here from Tom Rockcliffe.
And you can see the angle. There's nothing to deal with.
It's a bad miss. Oh, really bad miss.
Just clipped the post on the way through.
He knows how important it was too.
Cursing.
We just saw Matty Leuenberger, boys, that clearance, not just the tap work, but his follow-up at ground level. He got that handball out on the second effort there, so he's been in great form the last month.
And Brent Stake has started this third quarter in the goal square at full forward.
Walker got some help, kicked it up to the wing.
Plenty of Brisbane numbers back.
Aren't they everywhere? Hanley into the middle. And they're lining up for some more. Redden dealing it around. And here's Brown charging out, takes the mark.
Right there. Right there.
Too far out to score, even for his best. Delicate kick.
Well done.
There's a hard lead from Zorko.
He's a pretty good kick of the footy, Dane Zorko.
Oh, no doubt.
He'll have to kick it from virtually the edge of the centre square, because the mark's only a half a metre inside the 50-metre arc, but he can give it a roost.
He has not even thought about passing this off. Has not even looked at it.
He's been kept quiet tonight, just the 3 disposals. He gives it plenty, but it's away to the left. For some strange reason, he's got an inaccurate record at the Gabba. 12 goals, 15 here. And at other grounds, it's much better. It's 15 goals, 8. Simpson marks as the Blues, once again, reasonably stagnant.
Yeah, held up again well. They've readjusted beautifully, the Brisbane Lions.
Patfull just doing enough against Wade at the moment. The path was cleared for Adcock, just a fumble. And he lays a big tackle. Armfield, here's Hanley, confronted by Murphy, so forced to retreat a fraction. Polkinghorn, they go further back. Patfull up to the wing. Zorko outsized there. Tui.
Got to bring it to ground in that occasion. Dane Zorko, at least break even in the contest.
Good diligent defence from Tui. He's often kicking to half forward, over Hanley's head. Cruiser couldn't quite against Michael. Out of bounds again.
So Keisha continues to go to Maloney. Maloney trying to go to Judd.
Let's see where that all sorts out. It goes to Judd. He was able to bundle a handball out. No good of what he had. Robinson up to the 50. Waite circling. Yo straight away gets one tackle. And Ray wants to get involved quickly. Blows the whistle.
Will be now.
Brisbane by 5. Waite trots back towards the goal square. You can just see him at the top of the screen. Patfull watching him closely. Maloney. And it's back over the chalk. Out of bounds.
One thing you would say about Jared Wade over the journey, Shaw, is he doesn't tend to dominate games from start to finish. Tends to be a burst player, and he certainly controlled the first quarter. Can he find another big moment to impact this game?
Yeah, it's a good call. Hanley, scrappy, but
dangerous kick here.
Yeah, it can be, can't it? Now maybe he ducked the head there, Rockcliffe. So the umpire says...
Oh, they were out, Brisbane too.
Brown pushes back towards the square, being trailed by Jamison.
It is man on man, so there's no loose at each end, which makes for attractive football.
Tui, Doherty, got a slipper on it. And now Brown going to be beaten to the punch by Simpson. Oh, he took Jamison to ground.
He's landed on his shoulder again, I think. No,
I
he's
think it
holding
might be
his
his
face.
jaw, though. First up.
It was just a bit of a love tap from JB.
You saw
Jason.
it, Diggo, did you?
Yeah, it was just, he was obviously putting in the big yards and just got in between big Johnny Brown.
Just shrugged him off.
Robinson.
I think the umpires are talking about it in the background then, if they could verbalise it.
It never looks great when the bloke goes down holding his jaw, but you hope it's more incidental than anything else.
Keisha. Lucas, again, it's more circumspect. Though for the Blues, they've lost all that flow and rhythm they had in the first quarter. Great credit must go to the Brisbane Lions for that. The options have dried up. Keisha to half forward. Patfull up to spoil weight. He did it effectively. Cruiser was there in the mix as well. He's got it. And they've got him.
Gee, they're tackling well. That's the difference in this game, totally.
Patfull had him in a headlock and a leg lock. Let's have a look.
Oh. Actually,
Just a love tap there, Jason.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's a half-high tackle. That's all it is. So I don't think he'll have too much to worry
I
about.
don't know whether Gemmo thinks that.
No.
Armfield bombed away.
Good
Murphy. Couldn't like that.
Gee, the way the game's been flowing,
That wasn't the
I'd like to have
umpire.
seen that let go.
That wasn't the umpire in control.
Relax.
Murphy not waiting to go through it. He's just gone straight for home and put Carlton back in front.
Well, I think the umpires have been very good tonight. They've let the game flow, and it's all looked pretty good to watch. Jamie Charman is the Brisbane runner, having a chat to Jonathan Brown there as Michael Jamison comes back to pick him up. You have a look here. Now, here's the problem.
Oh, that
You
was not
can't.
an attack.
It's the one motion. He didn't drag him to ground. He had to dive to get him. The ball spills out. I don't know what you expect Ashley McGrath to do.
And Murphy really threw himself the last part.
Ben Dixon down on the boundary.
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, good.
Boys, you just saw there Joel Patfull just being a little bit more physical with Waite. The first half, that was non-existent. He was giving him space. We talked about Waite's lateral movement, allowing him to run and jump. He's just been a lot more physical in the last quarter, and it's just been a great result.
It has slapped back by Bell. Now Judd gets motoring. One of the first times you've actually seen him in the clear, kicking the ball into the 50. Some desperate work from the Blues. Maybe they've regained their mojo with that goal. Cruiser got it out. Waite was there to pounce, comes to Judd again. Forced a handball. Oh, Armfield, that was inventive. Back to the top of the square. Murphy against three lines. Yo, brazen attempt to go past them all. And luckily for him that the behind line was there.
Well, he had that as a backdrop, didn't he? So it was okay to take on because he knew if he got tackled, it's just going to be a rush behind.
And that kick just lands somewhere in between. Buick was charging up.
It was a perfect kick. He just needed to take the mark. This could be costly.
Well, Gibbs has curled it back there again, and Patfull found himself too far behind.
And that's
you know, not his fault there, though.
It's not, because you don't expect a turnover like that. But Joel Patfull had obviously created an option the other way, and he just didn't have time to come back.
You can see him a long way off this, there's no doubt. That was a kick out of defence. Matter of fact, the Brisbane Lions player who played on put himself under pressure, so that's why he had the kick. But Patfull, no doubt, had gone the other side of the ground to be a loose man to bring the ball out.
He got himself a nice little bit of angle assistance there, Jared Waite, and he threads it through, and Carlton have responded.
Now, people will say, why isn't Joel Patfull just sticking with Jared Waite? Well, when you win possession, and here's the commentator's cam, which shows you the space. When you win possession, clean possession, it is the obligation of every defender to run off and create an option. That's what Joel Patfull was doing. But you just don't expect a silly turnover and a quick rebound straight to your opponent. That's where he was a little bit unlucky there, Joel Patfull.
Couple of timely goals for the Blues.
Mind you, when you run off, you half expect the forward to follow you. But Jared Waite just said, no, you can go. I'll wait here.
Well, I like that argument. I like that part of the argument because I'm thinking the most dangerous forward on the ground at the moment for Carlton is Waite. I think if you're going to run off, you run to a point where you know you can get back to your player very quickly. That was too much space involved then.
It's a game of who dares wins in a way.
Difference is the good side will do that because they will have great confidence in their teammates to maintain possession once they've won it.
In this case, who dares loses, perhaps Shorey.
No doubt.
As Garlett drills the ball to half forward. Armfield takes the mark.
See, the Blues have lifted now, haven't they? They've
Yeah.
come out after that bad miss from Rockcliffe to start the third term.
They were down there 1-on-1 too. Wait, and they're wrestling deep. Wait, and Patfull. Meantime, as we can see, this is where the action is. Or where
He's
the
20
footy is.
metres away already. Patfull, every time he takes a break, Jared Waite keeps running side to side and gets 15 metres away from him. It's incredible to watch the movement of Jared Waite.
Curnow pops it up. Oh, and he worked his way to the
Do you know
front.
what?
He's got it again.
Please, can we...
We've been watching that for the last 30 seconds, Shorey. He's been going from one point post to the other. 30-metre lateral leads. Every time Joel Patfull takes his eye off him, he gets a 15-metre break. So on that occasion, that was about the 4th time he'd gone back across. He gets to the front of the pack, stretches, takes the mark before Patfull can get there.
Let me tell you, just when there's enough supply, and there's been a bit of supply in this quarter, Patfull was all right in the set. He cannot play in that position. I would go with Staker, and I've said it from the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, the matchup has not been good.
3 goals, 1 for Jared Waite.
And that saved him.
Who were let off.
He's absolutely exhausted too, Patfull, boys, and I don't think Jared Waite, he's got his hands on his hips there, but he's pretty fit at the moment. He wouldn't blow a candle out, but Patfull's really struggling.
Yeah, he's doing a Nick Riewoldt or what a young Jonathan Brown used to do to players, just running them into the ground.
Well, it helps too, though. He's staying in the square and Patfull's running off as well.
I find he starts running off less if he's got to chase him that often.
I would be.
Lester to Black.
Oh, dangerous
Pulls
kick.
the trigger on the kick into the corridor, knocked away from Buick by Walker, shoveled out from Robinson. They're moving now. Judd took it off Tui, banged it deep, and look at this. He is given all sorts of freedom, Garlett, and he'll take the mark again. Hurt on the rebound.
Well, this one goes down as a cross against Simon Black's game because you've got clear possession. All the players are streaming behind in support, and it was just a really poor option to kick over there. You can just see a reassuring pat from Pierce Hanley. Don't worry about it, but it probably has cost their team a goal.
Let's see if it has. Garlett. Ooh, gee, it was hard left, wasn't it?
Oh, they keeping him in the game, and
Oh, look at Mick. Look at Mick.
well, they pay them to kick goals. That's what they're getting paid for. So I think it's one of the worst skills in league football in the AFL at the moment. The lack of body language about wanting to kick the goals, the first thing, and then the execution is pretty ordinary, Hutto.
You think they should react more negatively afterwards, you saying? Or?
Well, no, I'm saying when you get the ball, you want to take it on and show that you're that confident you are going to kick the ball. I think Buick does it well for Brisbane. A lot of blokes look like they want to keep looking around with their eyes and not have confidence about going through with it.
Leuenberger knew the onus was on him to get rid of it, and he did. Under the circumstances, it was a good play. Simpson to Lucas and back to Gibbs. Cross half back, engineering another move forward for Carlton.
Just controlling the footy a little bit, the Blues at the moment.
McLean, they're happy to go delve deep into the defensive 50. Lucas swiveled and kicked it back to McLean.
And conversely, the pressure isn't like that manic pressure they had in the second quarter.
Oh,
Brisbane.
look at this.
Tui got Simpson away, and he's got Jamison to run with him here on the wing. If he needs some help, has a look behind him, just try and sort out how to use him. Jamison drifting forward. Took a while, so he had to squeeze the kick out. Robinson looks likely. Yo, steadfast. Black just got rid of it, but the danger certainly hasn't passed. Murphy just waited and waited. Got it back to Judd. Had time to really align himself with the goals, but he doesn't. Well, he just didn't get enough on the kick. It's a strange old one. Oh, that.
Under pressure.
Well, was it?
Yeah. Wasn't a great kick from Chris Judd. You'd expect him to convert from there, wouldn't you?
Half-hearted, wasn't it? It wasn't like
Just a little tentative kick.
Didn't
off
take
the
it on.
instep.
Ash, clear out, please. Move it on. Play on.
Hanley.
Play on. I got that.
No margin for error on that kick either. Yo takes it.
Move it on, please. Play on.
I wonder when either side starts thinking about the sub. It's Josh Green and young Josh Bootsma for Carlton and for Brisbane. Lucas. And there's Patfull. There's Waite.
Jonathan Brown's gone on a long lead. Oh, move it.
Play on.
See, this isn't helping Brisbane. They had options, and he's taken forever, and all it does is put everyone under pressure, and he kicks to a 1-on-2. That's a really strange decision from Joel Patfull. And Jonathan Brown is going spare, and rightly so.
He's going crazy.
He is not happy.
Just coming in the screen then, Jonathan Brown.
It worked 100 metres to get clear and doesn't get used.
Brown will have some frustration, but Scotland wasn't going anywhere near him.
He's lucky he had good peripheral vision, Heath Scotland.
Jamieson, Judd again, scooped it up on the half volley. And Armfield around the corner to Scotland, who we saw involved in that passage of play earlier. He's the man now that has to go back and kick the goal.
And Jonathan Brown's now on the mark and still not overly happy with what's just happened. He's thinking, this should not, we shouldn't be in this position. We had numbers, the ball was moved too slowly out of defence. Patfull should have pulled the trigger a lot earlier. And now the Blues having a shot for goal. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, this bloke.
Playing game number 251, of course, after the big milestone last week. Scotland is a crisp kick. But that one goes into the post, so more frustration for Mick.
Got to stop giving blokes a rap.
They're keeping him in it at the moment, there's no doubt about it. I just cannot believe you can coach two different. Like this side from the second quarter, where has it gone? You just cannot turn the tap on like that for a coach. It's uncoachable, really.
Hanley out to half-back, Lyle, Lucas working back, had Simpson in reserve.
So what they have done, the Blues, they've taken 16 marks in the attacking 50.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Is it what?
They've kicked 10 goals.
Well, there should be 3 more goals up. That's what they should be at this stage. But you don't put sides away, they're going to get their time again, Brisbane. There's no doubt. Whether it's this quarter or last.
Yeah, 9-2 is the inside 50s for the quarter in Carlton's favour. So they haven't capitalised fully. Margin 12 here at the Gabba. They have quietened the crowd, but as we've been discussing, they haven't taken full advantage. Gee, they've got a small team out there at the moment, haven't they, with Warnock and Henderson and Waite all sitting down, the Blues. Forward line is Garlett and Armfield at the moment.
Maloney's had 1 touch this quarter, boys. The man who got him going in that second quarter. 1 touch.
Cruiser beats Lyle to the punch. There's Dicko getting involved, almost got a possession down there.
Just got a possession. You mentioned Jared Waite just on the bench at the moment. Joel Patfull hasn't had a rest, and the last 2 minutes he's had to chase Mark Murphy, so we'd like to get a rest. They're really missing, obviously, Merritt and Clark today.
Free kick, Brock McLean, a hole.
Another reflection of the domination from Carlton. 63 disposals to 26 for the term. I think there might be a sub about to happen shortly too for the Lions. Kick goes into full forward. Cruiser's there. Hacked out of there by Staker, and he'll be feeling much relieved.
Oh, that could have gone anywhere.
Those kicks can be frightfully dangerous. Leicester switches on.
Play on.
Well, a dangerous kick here too. It's got to be good, and it was. Great hands.
Zurich took the mark. He scampers up quickly.
That's play on, because he's moved inboard.
Walker's letting him now. He knows that the play on call is coming.
No, this is
He's committed to that side. Forced a handball. Talk about past the buck. Over to Adcock. Now Gibbs collects the footy, and his thoughts got to the half-forward. Judd just sweating on it. He's got it, Judd, but gave it back up. Now they'll try and lay some tackles. Bell, the top of the 50. Keisha, Cruiser. Keisha again. Armfield was flying past. Missed his man. Missed the mark. Keisha has a second opportunity. Brushed away a fly. Kicked it to full forward. Garlett outnumbered, outsized. And the mark played to Patfull. He was enjoying a little bit of respite.
got a little chip over the top. I mean, it's okay to slow it down when the opposition's got momentum going, but you've still got to take your opportunities when they're there. And if you've got a free player, you've got to use them.
Leicester finds McGrath.
What they need to do is get the ball the other end of the ball.
Another turnover.
Another calamity coming up, perhaps. Will they capitalise the Blues? McLean, Waite, the instant give over the top, and it's Kane Lucas. No one can miss from there.
Good job.
Well, Michael Voss, yeah, he's scratching the head because he's thinking, what has happened in 20 minutes of football here? Just the turnover problems they've had, but this has been a lack of aggression at the contest. It was there in the second quarter, and that's why I say it's nearly uncoachable to think that a side could allow possession and a dominance like they had to Carlton in this third quarter. Just had not been there at all as in their attack on the ball.
Well, that's a gift for Kane Lucas as he kicks his third. One thing you can't bank on from a Brisbane perspective is elementary mistakes by your senior players, and Ash McGrath just a poor hand pass. Look at all the Blues midfielders getting plenty of it here.
That's for the term, of course. Rains takes it out wide, and it's tough going at the moment for the Lions. Doherty's kick. They've had to work hard to get up there. Now along the line to Hanley. McLean disposes of him illegally. They finally get a free kick, the Lions.
They've been inside 50 twice, Hutto, this quarter. You want to convert pretty well, wouldn't you? Going twice.
Time back on.
Well, somehow they've got to rediscover the drive that they found in that second term that turned the game around.
Hanley, couple of leads. One of them came from Lyle.
You take it as end zone, Jace. Yes,
Still no movement on the sub front. Free kick count for the night is actually very close. 9 to 8.
Great
Buick.
tap.
Opportunity taken.
Spectacular.
Leuenberger. Wow, just sensational tap work. Gee, you love that. They would have had that set play. Look at this, Leuenberger, the little soft hands, and it was over the top of the fingers. It wasn't just the palm down. He let it run off the back of his fingers, or the top of his fingers with the palm open.
Yeah, it's clever.
That is magnificent, and Buick just knew the ball was going to be there. Well set up. They would have done that at training a few times, and a good finish. He's kicked his third, Buick. I think Mick was happy with that setup.
No, Mick's Rob Wiley at the front was also frustrated. I don't know if there was a spray given there, but they're old and great mates, of course.
Let me tell you, the runner came out to Andrew Walker to have a chat to him, who's playing on Rowan Buick at the moment, and I don't reckon I wanted to receive that message.
Well, Leuenberger gave that service to Maloney last week, who kicked a great goal, and this week it was Buick. Now Black. Maybe things have changed again here. Rockcliffe. Oh, look at that. It was red hot. And Leicester is going to have the shot for goal.
That was like the parting of the Red Sea. It was the greatest space up the corridor you've ever seen. And Ryan Leicester was 15 metres clear. He must have got a block from a teammate further afield, because there was a big pack coming out of the goal square. And all of a sudden he appeared well in front of everybody. And it looks like Ash McGrath. Go down to Ben Dixon in a minute.
So, again, oh, that's a bad miss from Leicester.
Gee, you've got to take your opportunities when they present. Ben Dixon, a bit of action from a Brisbane perspective.
There is, Jason, they've activated their sub. Josh Green is on, and Ash McGrath has been subbed out of the game.
He's the one that made that poor hand pass there at halfback. I wonder if it just tested the patience of Michael Voss.
Another turnover.
Zorko, Black, turned around and only saw Blue in front of him.
Jonathan Brown.
Bell.
Just poleaxed himself, Brown.
He did.
Dark, you heard the call.
Yeah, good call. Very good call.
Yeah, good on you. Thank you. Clear the back, please.
Simon White being subbed.
Everyone stop, Tommy. That's not a goal, mate.
Matty Leuenberger.
He let him run 20 metres before he told him.
It's not continuous. It's a free kick.
Matty Leuenberger again. That pressure of that stoppage where we saw Buick kick a goal from the throw-in stoppage. Now Matty Leuenberger looked like they blocked him off the ball so he couldn't get to the contest.
They kill your free kicks like that, don't they? Now, what he's got to do is deliver. They've missed a couple of opportunities. He's got to kick this.
Well, the complexion of this game looks like it's changed again. Kick one, and now another from Matthew Leuenberger. You could hear the collective gasp around the Gabba, couldn't you?
What about the way that he ran in there, Jason? It was like a giraffe, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, no doubt about the free kick.
Well, he just took his eyes off at Warnock and hip and shouldered him out of the way.
He knows too.
That was the cue for the umpire. Scotland takes the mark. The Blues, once again, on the back foot, hanging on to a 10-point lead now. Out to Judd. This is going to be his first mark of the night, Chris Judd. Has not got into any space at all. 10 contested possessions. And more handballs than kicks for Chris Judd.
He ran a long way.
Well, he did. I think he's changed his mind a couple of times on the journey.
Move it on.
He gets himself into a position where he could get it back again, Judd. As he just keeps motoring on to the next contest. Walker outpoints Adcock. No interference. Blues need to show some urgency again. It was a middling kick back to the wing. Judd was in there, cleared the path for McLean. The bodies flying everywhere. Gibbs.
Touch, play on.
Staker strolling after it. Simpson went to ground.
Did well.
Staker just jarred out of there at the absolute last moment. McLean decided to paddle because he saw that weight was there in reserve.
Oh, it's played
he's
deliberate.
paid it.
Well, it was probably the intention of Jared Wade. He just didn't disguise it well enough.
Play on.
Didn't disguise it well enough. He ran into the 10th row.
Buick really gritting the teeth at the back. Brown decided to go with it. Not sure if he had more time and space than he realised, but
Let's have a look at Jared Wade here. He gets it. And then just pretty casually says, I might just run this way. What do you reckon?
Move it on. Play on. On.
Looks like we've had a sub-2, boys. Both sides.
yep.
Carlton have activated their sub. Simon White's out. Josh Bootsma is in.
Back it goes to Henderson.
It's a real good opportunity for Josh Green. I mean, he's the goal kicker. He gets subbed on for Brisbane now, full of life. He's got leg speed.
Yep.
He's got to come on and really make a contribution here. So he affects the spoil there. There he is, then pushes into the attacking 50. And he's got to look to give the Blues defence some headaches.
He's kicked a bag of 2 goals 3 times this year.
Did you call it a bag of 2, Hutto?
It's a small bag.
That's a purse.
Okay, I like that, Shorey. A purse of 2. We'll go with that from now on. Do you kick many purses, Shorey?
Oh, yeah. The old reservoir days.
Quick kick, Maloney. Has it got enough? Has it got enough? It needed a fraction more.
Let it go.
How can the complexion of the modern game, how it changed in 7 minutes? They've been inside 50 for the last 7 to 8, and Carlton can't get it through.
3-5 to 1-6 for the quarter, by the way.
They've got a loose man too over the top here, Carlton. They get back Bootsma, first touch.
Bootsma.
That's what's killing Brisbane. It's inaccuracy. 1 goal, 6 doesn't win you a game of football.
Kerno and now Lucas. Good combination on the wing. He's just searching for something. And he found Jard. Oh, there was a goal, boundary umpire on either side of that, so it must have been okay. Jard tries to hit the next target, also creeping along that boundary line. To make Nick Malthouse almost cry with tears, wouldn't it, to have it around the boundary line that tight? There he
A bit
is.
too tight, but he's down having a
He's
chat
not
to a
happy,
few of the
no.
players and just taking closer stock of things prior to 3/4 time.
Margin 8, Staker. Went for an inside-out torpedo. Bootsma and Leicester. Bootsma played the footy. Took it over the line and out of bounds. That is surely fine.
Greeny come up and said, no, bit weak, mate, tapping it out. I think he did the right thing.
Stay meter! Stay meter!
Margin 8, we're set for a fascinating last quarter, but we haven't got there yet. Leuenberger pokes it down. Black, hungry for more.
Too high, Ed Kerno!
Free kick to Kerno.
Stay there, Brent!
14th disposal coming out.
Move on! Play on!
Stabs it into the middle. Scotland's there.
Well, he's loose at the moment. You've got Adcock loose at the other end for Brisbane.
Yeah, Tui's charged off too for Carlton, but
Play on!
Carlos on the wing.
gee, wouldn't a goal here be priceless for either side in this last what have we got, 55 seconds to go. Simpson, here's the wind-up. Could have gone short to Judd. Went long instead to Warnock and Cruiser. So both big blokes down there. Cruiser put the head down. No free kick. Warnock took his go. Then Bell, and then Cruiser again. Oh,
Hit the post. One thing they can't afford to do is concede a goal here at the death knell of the 3rd quarter of the Brisbane Lions. So Pierce Hanley will just look to hit a target, and maybe they'll just hang on to possession for the last 30 seconds.
pumps it down the middle. Robinson for Carlton.
Gee, that
got
was
him.
a dangerous kick and a poor contest from Tom Rockcliffe. They're going to give Carlton a chance to score here before the siren.
Warnock is deep. Armfield's down there at his feet. Judd's also in the mix. Warnock the height. Couldn't drag it down. There's Armfield, shaped it through. He's done what plenty haven't been able to do in this quarter. And what a time for it. What a moment. What a gut wrencher for Michael Voss.
Dennis! Thanks, mate. It's a great time, mate.
he'd be incredibly disappointed, Michael Voss. Pierce Hanley, it was the wrong kick-in option. He had a short one in the pocket. They could have chewed up the last 30 seconds. He kicks to a contest up the corridor. Adcock doesn't give a good enough contest, and then all of a sudden it comes straight back. And then Pierce Hanley again, who was responsible for Armfield, lets him get goal side. It's a really bad blue by the Brisbane defence, and now it's a 3-goal break heading into three-quarter time instead of just 9 points.
Malthouse and Voss, been a tough night for both of them in charge. At the moment, it's Carlton who are ahead by 15 points, and you suspect that'll be the scoreline at the last. It will. They go to the final change with the Blues 12-13-85. The Lions 10-10-70. Well, they came out. They kicked the first goal of the third. Brisbane, but then Carlton hit back. It was an inaccurate quarter, Jason, wasn't it? At the end of it, it's Carlton in front.
Unfortunately, it's inaccuracy that cost the Brisbane Lions 1 goal, 6 in that quarter. So they'll have to come out in the final quarter. They're giving away a 15-point start to the Blues here at the Gabba.
Sam Michael, we saw him a moment ago on debut, playing on Cruiser at the start of this last quarter. They blitzed them in the second with 6 consecutive goals, Brisbane. They'll need to do something similar here. The margin, though, is only 15. They don't have to come from as far back as they did. Bell thrusting it forward for Carlton. Here's Wade again. Patfull. Robinson dug it up. Gave everyone an opportunity. Clearing kick came from Green. Gibbs scampering after it. Keisha finds the radar, kicks it deep, and out wide for Robinson in front of Adcock. They both went under the footy, and it harmlessly went out of bounds.
Leading possession getter on the ground, Brock McLean. He's an unbelievable accumulator of possessions. He's up to 23. The next best is Judd on 18 for Brisbane. Hanley and Rockliff have 17 apiece.
Warnock guided it down to Bell. Gibbs. Keisha. Leuenberger had to be careful. Maloney joins the crowd. Gibbs again. High ball to the square. Lucas out the back. Wade in front. They've both kicked 3 goals each tonight. Oh, Carlton. He was flying through. 16 points.
Well, the good thing about Brock McLean is he probably is the 4th player they go for in the midfield for Carlton. So he gets the 4th best midfielder probably going to.
Just works non-stop. Reads the play really well and finds the football, Brock McLean.
Staker to Maloney.
I need this bloke to lift. He had 2 possessions in that third quarter. Dominated the second.
Up to 16 in total now.
And they don't want to get forced up the line like this all the time either. They've got to get some run on into their play.
Henderson in front. Bell.
Too easy.
It was. He's put it deep. It's 3-on-1 in the air. And they get the result you would expect with those sort of numbers, but didn't look all that convincing. And the kick blasted out of there by Yeo. And it's coming back again. Bell had a big start to this last quarter. Keisha, Jamison getting forward again. Judd's waiting at the back. It mightn't get it there. And it's out of bounds.
It's a big spoil. Polkinghorn getting back to do that. Just some of the tackles from Brisbane aren't sticking. That's what turned it around in that second term.
So they all arrive. And Judd, he's got it.
Well, he had a massive third term and he's picked up where he's left off. You could just see the shot of that stoppage. Look at Jed Adcock. He's loose. He's watching the midfielders. He's got to take Judd as soon as... What's the point of standing where he is? You can see the runner coming through. You've got to cut him off. No good looking around. Sometimes you've got to cover for your teammate when he gets beaten. Michael Voss knows how much that hurts. Now the margin starts to become a worry.
So Chris Judd puts it through, and the margin out to 22 points now here at the Gabba. Over to you, Brisbane. What have you got?
Block, went past the fly of the ball, Matthew Leuenberger.
Went over the line. So Leuenberger's ball gets some good run from behind. The co-captain Adcock decked by Warnock, and Leuenberger wants to go on with it.
Back to him, thank you. Stay down. Let it go!
Wow, that's
Robinson
ridiculous.
will give away 50 here.
Just stay out of there now. You want the Brisbane Lions players, just get away from it.
Yeah, well, they've got the footy.
Yeah. He's trying to protect Warnock, Robinson, so you can't knock him for that.
No, I don't
does
mind.
it in aggressive fashion.
Or Lyle didn't want to have the long shot, and he found a good option. He's passed it over to Simon Black.
You wouldn't say it's been his strength over the journey of his career. Set shots for goal. Been an absolute star player. As you said earlier in the night, one of the most decorated players in the game.
I'd like this. I think you maybe just land this about a metre over the goal umpire's head.
Don't expend any unnecessary energy, Shorey. Just come in.
Well, I don't think he can.
And
there's a... Oh, it wasn't straight, though. It was a metre over his head.
Kicked themselves out of it, the Lions.
Yeah, both sides inaccurate, though. 10-11 to 13-14.
But when you're one of the bottom sides trying to climb up, you don't get that many opportunities. You've got to make them count. They'll get out the back here, Brisbane. Patfull's left weight, he's got to impact.
4-8 from set shots too, Jace. That's the one that kills you, isn't it?
And they haven't been difficult set shots, Hutto. They've been pretty much regulation.
Patfull bombs away again. The numbers were coming from everywhere. Green to Rains. Can he hit the mark? Zorko wasn't sure. And it's through for a behind. Well, they're pressing. You'll say that for them now. It's 20 points. Vossi's agitated. He needs that agitation to be transferred out to the ground. Needs his players to keep coming and coming. Be relentless in pressure. Jamison kicks to the wing. Tui's gotten to the right spot. Hanley marks out the territory. Looks up along the wing. Blues don't have the pressure on them now to move it as quickly. Early stages still of this last quarter. Patfull and Waite. He got a fist. No. Umpire, I thought initially that it passed, but decided free was there. Lucas. They go forward again. Armfield just angles the pass. And Garland had it knocked away from him. From Yo.
Yeah, Yo gives him one to go on with.
Oh, Elliott.
Yo.
As long as he doesn't push it too far.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd go on with that stuff.
Nor do I. It does
I can
nothing
see
for
Garland just snapping a goal over his head somewhere here.
Yeah, well, that's right. Slapped it back into the path. Green. Bell. Mining for it is McLean.
Same again, mate. Peterson, 26, yeah? Footy, please, Brocky. Thank you, mate. Here we go.
There's Chambo, as he likes to be known. Ray Chamberlain.
Chambo.
Yeah. That's what he said. Doesn't like Razor. So he's probably going to get Razor for the rest of his career.
So one thing you never did at a footy club, Shorey, was act upset with the nickname you got, because if you did, you got stuck with it for good.
Exactly.
13-14-92. 10-12-72. Precarious position Brisbane find themselves in at the moment. Oh, and Mitch Robertson just storming through, but as is true to form tonight, he's missed. And Mick's headphones just wobble a little more.
Well, that would nearly have been a nail in the coffin. I mean, they had possession clean at half back, the Lions, and just coughed it up.
Down to you, Ben.
Thanks, Hutto. I suppose you can call Carlton the clock killers, because in their last quarters, in the last 5 weeks, they use the boundary line. They're the #1 team to use the boundary line with the long kicks, dragging it around the world. That presents an opportunity for Brisbane. Open the corridor up. We saw in the second quarter they can score heavily. They just need the energy and the skill to pick them off in the corridor, and they'll get themselves right back in this game.
Well, let's see if they go that way. They go reasonably wide. Jamison got the fist in at the right moment. Buick shoveled it out, kept it alive.
And no one to kick to.
Redden. He paused, and then he saw Hanley in his sights. Cruz is there to make a nuisance of himself. Down to Murphy. Set it up for Lucas to come up and over. Went hard at the footy. Polkinghorn dug deep. Had to. Redden off half back. Patfull again. Just arts the back and got enough on the footy. Now they've got their path through the middle. This is where it's got to open up for Black. Adcock, penetrating kick. Green's away at half forward. Green's 50 out. Green's 40 out. Green's closing, and he is kicking a goal. It's still alive at the Gabba.
Well, that's exactly what Ben Dixon was talking about. Go through the corridor. You saw Black, you saw Adcock. They're the blokes you want with the footy. It was a gutsy kick. It was a gutsy play to take on the Garland, who was chasing him, Patfull. But he finds a couple of experienced heads in Adcock and Black in the middle, and that opens the entire ground up going forward. Josh Green takes the bull by the horns Doesn't mind a little celebration either, and he's trying to fire up the Lions and the crowd. Looks like a dislocated finger there for Matty Leuenberger. Very painful when you get a dislocated finger that won't go back in.
Yep.
Oh,
Jason, I think it might be actually his thumb. That's why it's finding it hard to get it back in.
Dislocated thumb. That'd be...
Strap it up, he'll be right.
So margin is 15 points now, and the Blues will know that they have to do more than just see out time.
Looks like they've got it back in. Or not. Maybe not at the angle that's pointing at.
No,
I think they're going down the rooms.
Well, that's a crucial blow to Brisbane too. It means Lyle's got to do all the ruck work. Let's see if Carlton can capitalise. Cruiser and Scotland both working hard at the coalface. Up to the 50 it goes. Knocked away from Simpson. Bubbling along. Simpson involved again. Young Sam Mays. He was just dragged out of it. Bell, good give. Good hands for the Blues. And then sprayed.
Probably could have straightened and kicked the drop punt if he wanted to, Jared Wade, but he went for the round the corner and struck it in the middle of the ball. That's why it went straight ahead.
Doherty brings it in. He's going to get it back again.
Good kick.
Rockcliffe, and that's over the line and out of bounds. Much to his frustration. There's a casualty for the Blues.
He does not look well, Brock McLean.
I'm sure he knows where he is.
He's had a heavy knock.
So both sides with some casualties. Here's Judd. Just got a half handball out to Curnow. Gibbs hacked it inside. And that is just bouncing over the line and out of bounds.
So they'll have a little bit of a chat to Brock McLean.
He doesn't. His eyes don't look good there, doesn't he?
Concussion test, you'd imagine, just to make sure everything's okay.
Contact the blade and knees. Round.
Yes,
Well, there you go, one of those.
One of those.
Stay there.
I think he called Blackie Brown then.
He did.
And he actually laughed after he called Simon Black Brown then.
Colourblind.
Colourblind, yeah. Kicks it to centre half forward.
Again, they go through the corridor.
Murphy. Maloney was threatening there. The kick out is good to Simpson.
Just remember, doesn't kick on his right foot very often.
Was threatening to use Curnow. Instead, he puts it up high to a man that's kicked 3 goals tonight, Kane Lucas. But not renowned in front of goal.
Let's have a look at Brock McLean, see what happened to him. We saw him come off pretty dazed. He gets the ball there. He gets tackled. Oh, his head slams into the turf. That wasn't a sling tackle from Andrew Rains. That was just incidental.
Feel the pain.
Wow.
That. Simpson burrowing through.
Especially when you cannot put your hands down to brace the fall. That's what you know it's coming, but
Heads up, heads up.
Daniel Rich, they'd love to have him out there, wouldn't they? The Lions.
Judd continuing to accumulate. Simpson straightens and it might just carry. Oh, gutsy stuff from Polkinghorne. An act of great valour right on the line at the 11th hour. He got his fingernails to it.
And extremely thankful for the padding on the post. Have a look at this. Over and around he comes. And then crunch. Thank goodness for the padding.
That could have had severe ramifications. At the half back. And Judd takes it over. McLean with 25 disposals. He's off the ground, as we saw. Murphy with 22. Judd 22 as well.
this man's getting involved now, Chris Judd.
3-on-1.
It's about bring rain, that kick. But
They communicated better there, but have they got the run? Here we go.
Pat Fuller releasing kick. And not taken safely enough.
Hanley runs hard for him.
Not a great kick, though.
Poor kick.
And it was Mays who...
Well, Dicko did qualify. They'll have their chances, but have they got the skill to do it? And you wonder sometimes.
And the Falcon there, Jace. You'll enjoy that from Curnow.
Turnover here.
Adcock.
No one's chasing.
Not going too hard forward because he had to wait and see what was there.
You kick this, you're getting done the distance.
You called it well, Hutto. Jonathan Brown was running back towards goal, but he was covered. And Jed Adcock just slowed down to wait and see what might appear. And all of a sudden, Brown just turned and propped. Little pocket of space. And the kick was weighted beautifully. Now, Kenny, this is where you like him. It's the 50, 55-metre bombs that he tends to kick so well.
And
He's got the energy to roost it. Sucking it in.
It's a big kick, isn't it? It is a massive kick.
31 years of age now, Jonathan Brown. Carlton lead by 17 points. Over the years, we've seen him land them from here.
Oh, too much on it.
Maybe just the task was a bit much for him.
No, he's going for the
65.
distance. Yeah, he was going for the distance, but we didn't lean in it as much as he did. Now, they've got to ham it in here now, Brisbane. Just got to get multiple shots at goal by causing chain turnovers and contests. And that's too easy coming out of there.
Oh, Brownie!
Low ball for Jamison. So we're almost at the midpoint of this last quarter.
We've got to make him kick it long up the line to a contest and then get numbers there.
And pretty much back where we started. Patfull leads weight to the footy, so roles reversed. It's over and out. 13-17, 11-13. Who's going to take their chances in the home stretch?
Oh, great hands.
It was. He bypassed Judd. Zorko keeping them guessing again. Rockcliffe measured it off.
Oh, wow.
Did it get there to Brown? No. And now they just come swarming in.
Oh, he reckons it was a mark. Oh, he just pushes off the Carlton player to get up. You got to love it. Let's have a look. He throws himself forward.
Oh, that's a mark. He got his hands underneath that ball.
I reckon I'd just about pay that.
Maloney.
It's a great effort. Tough one for the umpires to call.
Well, you've got to be 100% sure, though, or you go lean to the mark, don't you? Like
No.
No? Gee, you're a hard man. Key forward, too.
Oh, gone.
Oh, he's been headbutted in the
He's
head.
got to be holding the ball because he took it out of the ruck.
I'm telling you, Mitch Robinson.
Has he had a head clash with Mitch Robinson there?
Yeah, exactly. Mitch has come off second best.
Most do with Jonathan Brown. He's not moving real well at all, Mitch Robinson.
They say it's hard to tell with Mitch with the concussion test too.
You go off and have a chat with Brock McLean.
And the ball over the line, out of bounds.
Let's have a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Bang.
Oh. I'll tell you one thing I think they've got to do, though. They've got to roll Maloney now to go away from
So
Judd.
that's not high contact.
Well,
A free
there
kick
has
to
to be a
Jonathan
free
Brown.
kick,
Yeah,
doesn't
it should be.
Obviously, the umpire didn't see it. That's all you can think. Well, they're forcing their way towards goal, and it comes down to Hanley.
Oh.
He has a bounce, indulgent stuff, but it's a goal.
I can't believe he bounced.
Well, you've just got to make sure the cameras are on you, Jason.
That is an
football there.
extravagant bounce, isn't it? You know what he didn't want to do? He didn't want to kick it on the left foot. He wanted to make. He said, "I've got to make sure of this." So you know what I like? He said, "My strength is my pace. I'll just run around this bloke."
Well done.
Did it beautifully. Some really good hands in tight, and a well-weighted hand pass there from Green that released him. And he just said, "No, I'm going all the way." He's got pace. He's got skill.
So again they come, the Lions. 13-17, 95 Carlton. 12-13, 85 Brisbane. The Gabba is alive and expectant. Tap down was clever for the Blues.
Oh,
Warnock
play in
got
front.
it first hands. Keisha and into Cruiser. And that'll warm the hearts of Blues fans.
An advantage of 40 in the contested possessions.
Yeah, look, the big issue was, though, Matty Leuenberger with that dislocated thumb hasn't been back to the ground, so that was a clearance just so easy from the centre bounce then.
So Cruiser, a couple of big misses from Robinson and Waite, and Cruiser's name can be added to that list. Hasn't actually
Won't
made
make it.
It's where he ran. Distance. Doherty on that last line. Nervous times, Gibbs. Was that
High
high?
contact. Yeah. They could have rushed the behind.
Yeah,
Stray arm.
just a young player under pressure, lacked a bit of poise. You'll learn from that, of course, but if you're going to make a mistake, make it a long, long way from goal and just belt along the line. If it goes out of bounds, even out in the full, at least you can readjust.
Just a little bit of high contact there from Redden. Wasn't a lot in it, but you saw the look on Michael Voss's face, just ruining a lack of composure at times.
So Bryce Gibbs, #1 draft pick. All that faith in him, and he's now played 140 games of AFL footy. Back in the team tonight. It's over to you, Bryce. And he misses as well. Well,
Bit of pressure.
11 points the difference. Well, it's a hard night to be coaching, isn't it? But he's been here before, and so has Vossi as a player and as a coach. But Must feel helpless.
Well, they've got to start rolling some down the corridor now, you would think, from the kick-ins. Just long, punch it on, see if you can get a ball over the top.
Garlic came,
Great
but
mark.
Lyle.
It's been a really entertaining match to watch. That's a really well-weighted kick, and they've got the corridor.
Thriving on the responsibility, perhaps, Lyle. Adcock through the middle. They've forged a path for Lions again. It's a bit of a tightrope they're walking here. And eventually they might just fall off. But they're resilient. They're going to lay tackles.
At least they had numbers going through the corridor, Hutto. So even though they fumbled it a couple of times, they had numbers in support to keep it going. So the endeavour was there. Just a little bit of polish missing at times.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, he's given away.
Yeah. So this is the lack of ruckman here.
Yeah, young Michael in the ruck. And now Carlton.
They go all the way.
With a game breaker. Storming forward. Kicking back.
Misfire. Gee, the switches on.
Kick.
Switches on here.
Staker takes it.
Got to run with it. Got to run and draw.
Who's going to take some responsibility in this last quarter to finish off the hard work? Oh, Buick.
That's chopping the arms.
Did his best. Judd was looking to handball initially. Decided to kick.
I reckon he was unlucky, Buick.
Garlic. Lucas has got out the back, but he's taking a different path to goal. And it's Henderson, the former Lion, that takes the mark.
Well, he was always going to beat to Dane Zorko in the air. It was good vision from Garlic. He disguised the kick. He knew where he was. He was looking at goal and just pulled the ball across the body, high into the pocket, just to the advantage of Lockie Henderson.
Deep breath there from Lockie Henderson, just to get his balance, and get his mind on the job. 4 goals won this year in front of goal. Ventured there a couple of weeks ago with some success. Comes in to shoot for goal. Others have missed, and he too is astray. This is hard watching, isn't it?
Can't put him away. But it's good for the context of the game.
Fantastic for us, but imagine if you're a supporter of either of these two sides.
I reckon Mickey Miles just aged 10 years.
Oh, that's 50.
Oh.
He was a little unlucky, Jared Wade. He wasn't sure that the ball actually carried for the mark because it only went about a metre high all the way.
Oh, he didn't man the mark.
Taking him on, getting it in there quickly while their cages are a little rattled here. It comes to Black. And he's desperate to get it out. Black to Brown. And that's where it ends.
All right, got to lock it in. Got to lock it in here.
They don't want him to switch here, do they? They don't want to switch out here. Carlton are looking for it. They've got one on in the pocket with Bootsma, but I don't think Heath Scott will go down that way.
They've just got to create some repeat forward 50 entries here, Brisbane.
Down to 5:40. What about that for a towering mark from Jonathan Brown?
What does he do with it, though?
Who's going to take a mark deep? And he's the man kicking it in. There's Green.
There's actually no talls there.
Lyle's here.
Lyle's there, but it fell shorter than that. Hanley, bodies flying everywhere. Rockcliffe. Redden.
It's about 3 kicks off the ground in there.
Gibbs with the shortest of short passes.
That's a
Robinson. It is. Panic stations here at the Gabba. Patfull back to Adcock. Shaped as if he was going to press go. He decides they're going to come in on a different path.
Create some movement. Keep moving it around.
Young Sam Mays. He rolls the dice now. Rains, unlikely, couldn't mark. Was he interfered with Green? Centering ball. Has that travelled enough? It has.
It was a really good kick from Green to hook it back into the middle.
They're trying to argue, but not argue at the same time there.
All right, they want to milk the clock, the Blues now.
4 minutes 45. Walker has been restricted to just 11 disposals tonight. Cruiser in front. Had the arms taken. Play on the call. Curnow, Michael caught. Slapping at Armfield. Michael trying again. Adcock. He's done it before. Polkinghorn, top of the square. Resilient stuff. On that last line.
Gee, Jordan Lyle, a lot bigger body, had to hold his 50. Oh, gee, I hate this. It's a massive.
They've got to work hard here, Brisbane. Everyone's got to push back, block it up. You're 2 straight kicks out of it. There's still a lot to be played in 4 and a bit minutes. They can't allow this. Can't allow the overlap.
Curnow, wait, coming up at the footy. And this will be to Carlton's advantage because he can milk a bit of time here as well. No, he wants to keep it going.
Good kick.
And Cruiser.
See, any point for the Blues puts enormous pressure on Brisbane. Takes it outside 2 kicks.
Well, have a look at Sammy Michael on the mark, boys. He is sucking it in. He's been doing the ruck work for nearly the whole quarter. And he is gone. He's only a youngster. First up.
Yeah, he's been good tonight. He's tried really hard.
8 goals, 10 from set shots. Carlton tonight. Cruiser has 0 goals, 2 to his name, so wouldn't exactly instill him with confidence as he comes in. That's a better strike, but it's faded away.
No, any score was important, though.
The old handy point, Chory.
Yeah.
Look for the long one down the middle.
Got to go there now. Just take the game on. Big torp. If you're going to get beaten, it's...
Play on.
Staker. Oh, there's a little door open.
It's a strange kick.
Well, that's a strange kick.
Why kick to a
one.
contest here? You may as well kick to a contest in the middle of the ground.
You're right.
3 minutes 10. Carlton lead by 13.
There's the
Judd
ruck again.
moving through. Didn't quite fall his way. Oh, is that head-high contact? Bell. Good kick out from Mays. Oh, it only helps a little.
It's not dissimilar to last week, though, for the Blues. I mean, they beat Port Adelaide by 3 goals, but they didn't put them away. And Port Adelaide continued to come at them as the game got deep in the last quarter. And Brisbane haven't gone away. You can see Brent Maloney desperate to get back on.
Well, there's still a chance, Brisbane, if they can get a run on from here. Cruiser. Valuable seconds tick away. Simpson.
And they're happy the Blues with stoppages. This is perfect.
Oh, frustrating for Michael Voss. Got in front at half-time with a barrage of 6 goals in the second term. Unanswered. Judd moving again. There he is. Kicked a goal earlier in the corner. That one's not going to get there. Up and under. They all heard the call from the umpire, and they're bundling it out of there quickly, Brisbane. Scotland.
Good tackle.
He knew where the boundary was. There's a whole lot of there's a whole lot of umpires, and they agreed with umpire McGrath there.
Just said he dropped the ball, didn't make a real effort.
So Green for the Lions. Settles on centre half forward. Lyle flew Henderson. Just holding sway there. Oh, it was a bit of a nothing kick, wasn't it? Redden able to round it up. Brisbane cannot afford to waste any second at the moment. They just need to make haste. Quick kick in from Yeo to Lyle. And again,
Oh, put
Leicester.
some pressure on the kick here. Gee, he ran into the pressure then, Leicester.
Armfield. And the Blues prepared to go by hand.
Nowhere to kick it.
Gibbs.
Got to kick it, but he's got nowhere to kick it too. It's just a one-on-one.
He did his best. It was a pretty good kick in the end.
Oh, well done.
But negating by Staker. And they can reload Brisbane. This time there can be no mistakes. There just simply isn't time. Rains to half forward. Zorko. Judd. Handball off to Armfield. That's going to just about get the job done now for Carlton. Lucas takes the mark. They power on. Garlett hasn't quite had things all work for him tonight. He has kicked a couple of handy goals. Rains over the top. And Tui. Brown's there. Scotland, Judd. They've got inside the last minute. And they've got to safety, the Blues. Simpson takes the mark. And Carlton, gee, they've had to work hard. But the margin, 13 points now. And Walker under no real pressure.
Stay out. Play on. You.
Sends it up into the pocket. Wait. Pokes it out. And it's all Brisbane. Look, the players are exhausted.
Players out
they
there.
are exhausted. Brisbane still trying. That's all they can do. Yeo, he's a promising young player. Gets it deep. Jamison comes hard for the Blues. 12 seconds on the clock. And the ball goes over the line out of bounds. One last throw in. It almost fell Judd's way. Robinson tried his best. Everyone is exhausted at the Gabba, and at the end, Carlton have the energy to yell out a victory cheer because they get home by 13 points. in a game where kicking goals was very difficult, kicking accurately when it counted. 13-20-98 to 12-13-85, but the Blues are on the right side of the ledger, and they're in the 8 tonight.
Oh, they deserve to win the game. There's no doubt about it. When you talk about 33 shots to 25, inside 50s plus 15, and their contested ball was a lot better than Brisbane. But you're right, they didn't put them away. They kept Brisbane in the game by their inaccurate kicking. But a couple of things I thought come into the game late. I thought the Leuenberger injury meant that the dominance of the ruck work of Carlton, their clearance work, especially late in that probably in this last quarter, was just the thing that got them across the line. But Brisbane Lions, there's some signs there, but gee, they go. A lot of lulls in their play, Jason, from really top-class pressure.
It was. Let's head back down onto the ground. Ben Dixon has caught up with Bryce Gibbs.
Thanks, Jason. First game back, playing a few cobwebs out, Bryce, but 20 possessions. Must be happy.
Oh, I had the cement boots on there late in that quarter, but yeah, it's always tough to come up here and get a win, and glad we did it.
And second quarter, they kicked 6 goals, got themselves 4-point halftime lead. Must have been going, this is bizarre.
Yeah, we probably got a little bit comfortable. Just allowed them to run and carry and use uncontested marks, and they really hurt us. So, yeah, we pulled our finger out the second half and got there in the end.
And we had a big focus tonight on Jared Waite. We followed him all movements. It must be great to have him back in the forward line. He was potent tonight.
Yeah, he's a big presence. You know, if he's not marking it, he's getting it to the front for the little fellas to crumb. And I'm not sure how many goals he kicked, but he definitely straightens us up, that's for sure.
Been in different starts of the year, a couple of wins, a couple of losses, now a couple together. It's time you can hit the break with a bit of momentum.
Yeah, we'll focus on the next couple of weeks and hopefully get a few more wins leading into the split round. But you know, it's an ongoing process for us, and we're getting there slowly, so we'll be right.
Well done tonight, Bryce.
Thanks, mate.
Saw a couple of pairs of former teammates catching up. It was interesting, Brent Maloney and Brock McLean first up. I'm not sure that Brock McLean knew who he was talking to, even though he'd played with Brent Maloney before. We can see the next month for the Lions, a tough one against Collingwood next week, and then Freo and Geelong, so a really tough month coming up for them.
Tonight would have been very handy.
Well, yeah, look, it would have been great, but the last 3 weeks you can say we're seeing something from Brisbane. The effort, the work rate, it's been a hell of a lot better. And the Blues, well, they've got the GWS Giants, who you'd expect them to beat comfortably, and then a couple of big ones against Essendon and the Hawks before their bye. So even though they've got to 5-4, we spoke before the game, where are they at? They're going okay, but we're not 100% convinced yet. Workmanlike tonight.
All right, well, tonight it was a bit of a scrappy game. There was certainly some shots at goal that were not nailed, but Carlton get the 4 points. 13-20-98 to 12-13-85. Jared Waite and Kane Lucas kicking 3 goals each for the Blues. And they get the 4 points, and they're in the 8.